Hey, here we are. Bernardo Moya here, founder of The Best You. So excited, so delighted to be here at, the Best You Expo Global Summit. I'm really excited to bring this event to you because, well, listen, over the years, we've had the pleasure of promoting thousands of speakers. And I've personally had the opportunity to work with quite a few of them. And I thought, how cool would it be for us to bring some of the people that I actually personally work with, endorse, and I highly recommend. These are friends, these are colleagues, these are people who I actually think that they're probably the best in the industry. So we've got 3 days here. This event is happening today, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Every day, and it's 7th, 8th, and 9th. So we've got an amazing lineup of speakers throughout these 3 days, and there's an opportunity for you to be able to obviously watch this live via Zoom, if that's how you have connected and registered. And if you are connecting via Zoom, well, listen, just make sure you connect, you chat, you ask questions, you engage with other people and network. But that's it, 7th, 8th, and 9th of June. It's 3 days where you're going to learn so many great things. And I'll just read out the lineup of speakers that we've got today. And joining me very, very shortly is Greg Reiter. He's going to be talking about the simple and powerful social media strategy for free leads and sales. Jeff Barnes. Well, he's going to teach you and talk to you how you can 3x your revenue in 90 days or less. Then at 4 p.m., I've got Ken Rochon, who's going to talk to you about accelerate your abundance with a book. And on day 2, June the 8th, I've got my friend Bill Walsh from Power Team International, how to make bank as a public speaker. I'm going to be talking at around 3 p.m. about the do's and don'ts and partnerships and some of the exciting things that we're doing behind the scenes at the Best You Expo and the Best You right now. And then at 4 p.m., we've got Craig Henley and Karen Camus, and they're going to be talking how to use social media, scale, grow, engage, and sell. So you're seeing a common denominator here. It's about selling, it's about being more productive, about becoming a leader, about standing out. And then on June the 9th, I've got Jessica Abo. Now, Jessica, you're going to love her. She's absolutely phenomenal. She did a great piece for me in Entrepreneur Magazine. She is a media expert. She's going to talk to you about how from unknown to newsworthy, how to get press and master the media. And then talking about a master, we've got a master trainer on June the 9th at 3 p.m. That's David Snyder, the ultimate sales formula, how to sell anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And then at 4 p.m. last but not least, Jen Duplessis, entrepreneurial leadership, letting go to grow. So we've got 3 days where you've got opportunities to really learn some phenomenal techniques, some phenomenal, opportunities for you to become a much better brand, but most importantly, how you can sell more, how you can create more awareness of the great work that you're probably already doing. So we're going to be talking about lots of different things. I'm going to be presenting all the different speakers every single day. They're all going to have around 45, 50 minutes. There'll be an opportunity to do some Q&As with all of them as well, but some of them will be presenting. But the reason you want to stay, the reason you want to be here, the reason you want to join and not leave for the 3 days is because every single speaker, apart from giving you some phenomenal skills, they're also giving some amazing products of great value. And we're going to give, some of these products are for all of you, and some of them will be specifically one. Like, for example, David Snyder is giving a free ticket worth $3,150. We're giving a free speaking slot and booth at the Best You Expo in Las Vegas. So there's all sorts of opportunities. And if you're already watching this, remember, share. Because if you share, there's opportunities for you. And you share with your community and your tribe. That happens the moment you register. So you probably got that link. And you got that link when it came in the inbox. Well, we're giving the recordings of all the Global Summit, valued at $99. VIP tickets for the Expo. We're also giving a free ticket to all VIP tickets to all the expos that we're scheduling next year. And apart from that, as I said, we're giving away a free speaking slot and booth. So all that is a possibility for you, and all you got to do is share. So invite your friends, invite your community to come along and join us. And the prizes that we're giving throughout the 3 days, well, from a copy of my book. We're also giving you the Ultimate Social Media Blueprint for Leads and Sales and Video Masterclass, valued at $197 from Greg. We've got Ken Rochon. He's giving you an impact to the world with your book of free consulting questions, valued at $1,000. Jessica Abo is giving you a free PDF from Camera Shy to Camera Ready, valued at $97, and so on and so on. So please, first of all, if you're on Zoom right now, or if you're watching this on Facebook, or if you're watching this on If you're watching this on YouTube, just comments. We want to hear what you think about what the speakers are sharing. Apart from that, we would love for you to ask any questions that you may have. So be active and proactive. Make sure that you put some comments in that box, in the chat box, in Zoom, or wherever you are. So that's it. Exciting 3 days. I can't wait to share all the expertise. I can't wait to listen myself to a lot of the speakers and some of the great valuable information that we're going to be giving throughout the 3 days. Now, I'm going to read Greg's bio in a minute, not yet. But before we do that, what I would like to do is just to simply share a very quick message, and we'll be back right now. Thank you so much.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, leaders, with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Previous speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marissa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Marie Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Marmon, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo will be coming back in 2024 to Las Vegas, bigger, bolder. The Best You Expo will also be streaming on the Best You TV, and this event is for anyone and everyone that wants to commit, reach, and inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
What is life? Your life isn't just about what you're doing now. Your life is the sum of every hope you ever had and everything you ever wanted to be. Life is about the situations you deal with, how you get to where you want to be, and how you become who you want to be. Life is a collection of moments and memories. Life is about being alive, feeling alive. Life is about dealing with whatever fate throws at you. Life is about staying on top when things are challenging. Life is about enjoying yourself, about finding yourself, about leaving a legacy. Life is about looking and feeling good, about staying ahead. It's about being the best you. What you want, what we all want, is a life without limits. So why don't you be the best you?
Well, let me read very quickly Greg Reiter's bio. The future of e-commerce is on demand. Say goodbye to sourcing product challenges, inventory costs, and fulfillment headaches. He's often referred as the entrepreneur's best friend. Greg has spent the past 15 years coaching thousands of entrepreneurs to raise capital, market their business, and ring the cash register. Greg has over 35 years of experience in corporate finance, capital formation, executive level management, mergers and acquisitions, software development, licensing and distribution, and sales and marketing. And he spent over 15 years coaching thousands of entrepreneurs in the areas of marketing, capital formation, business acceleration, and revenue optimization. He's a phenomenal speaker. I can't wait for you guys to meet Greg. Hey, Greg, how are you?
I am loving life, man, loving life and hanging around and just, I'm over here in Phoenix, Arizona. It was my daughter's 29th birthday yesterday. So I was hanging out with her and my grandchild. Really, I came over for my grandchild, but you know, you got to love the daughter as well.
Oh, listen, you got at least show that you do. Greg, listen, I'm very excited. I don't want to take any more of your time. The floor is yours. You just give us a shout when you're ready. And thank you so much for being here today. Very grateful.
All right. Hey, thanks. Hey, I love this platform, StreamYard. And I know that if you're viewing on Facebook and YouTube, you can comment. If you guys are here and you're on one of those platforms and you can comment, go ahead and comment in the chat box. Let us know where you're coming from or where you're listening from. And sometimes you have to ask the StreamYard to give you permission to comment. But I will be looking for questions in the comment box and answering some questions. And I really, as the founder and CEO of LaunchCart, an e-commerce platform, which is an alternative to Shopify, and we also have LaunchCart CRM, which is an alternative to everything from ClickFunnels to Keep to Entreport and all of those cool CRMs out there. I was thinking about what was the best thing I could teach that just is rock solid and what anybody can do and works for any business. And the idea is, how many small business owners want more leads and more sales, right? Just about every single one. And if you sell to consumers, you want those leads coming in. If you sell to businesses, they want leads. But every single small business owner, every coach, every consultant, every speaker, entrepreneurs that are selling stuff online, digital marketers, course creators, they want more leads and sales. And what if I could tell you that there's a strategy that's right in front of your eyes, and I'm going to show you how no one is doing this. It's so brand new. It's like, no, this can't be brand new. This is what? And it's just a tactic. It's just a very simple tactic that literally can generate free leads and free sales for you on a daily basis. Now, how many of you guys want that? Say I just stand up where you're at and give yourself a high five or whatever, get that digital applause. You want free leads and sales, right? And so setting the bar is, you say to yourself, okay, how are we going to do this? What are you talking about, writer? And the first thing we want to talk about is, where are your prospects? Where are your prospects? And let me ask you this question. When we think about marketing online, we have all these social media channels. You've got Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and Snapchat and Reddit and just all these different places, right? How many of you know what the number one place is? What's the number one social media platform on the globe? Does anyone know? I really didn't put much thought into this because I know there's a lot of big ones, and I know there's YouTube is humongous and Instagram's big and Facebook is big. But you want to know what the number one is? And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And I have this chart up here, top social media platforms. And you can kind of look at all these different things, and you kind of look at these different images. And guess what? Facebook comes in number one across the board. And I actually found this article on TechCrunch. Look at this. Facebook now has 2 billion monthly users. And this was in June of 2017. And then I typed in, is there anything bigger than Facebook? And what was going on here? Facebook now has 3 billion users check Facebook every month. 3 billion. 3 billion. Now you think about that for a minute. Do you think that your customers are in that 3 billion? Do you think there's more customers in that 3 billion than anywhere in the world? It absolutely is the biggest mall in the world. There are more customers, more prospects, more leads than anywhere else on planet Earth. It's the number one platform. There's over 2 billion daily people check in on Facebook daily. And you just go, boom. When you really think, I know we all go on it, we all use it, but we really never think about how big that is and how powerful it is. And I love this saying, and I think I originated this. I'm usually a copycat marketer, but I think this is an original. But this internet and the world is our mall, because I'm in the e-commerce, right? And I tell people, like, you could have your place in that mall in Dubai, that incredible mall in Dubai, or the world's largest mall in Missouri, or wherever it is. And you will never get the amount of customers coming through your physical location, a mall, than you possibly could on the internet. I literally was doing some e-commerce and doing drop shipping, and I sold 400,000 people a product in 8 months. I collected 400,000 credit cards in 8 months. I spent $7 million of my own money advertising. Guess where? On the world's biggest platform, Facebook. And we collected 400,000 credit cards. I see Linda's coming in. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. If you're coming on now, put your chat in the box where you're coming from. Get your questions ready. I want to make sure you guys understand this, but we're talking about installing a profit faucet. How many people want a profit faucet? And the idea is we have to leverage the biggest social platform in the world. And I got to say this too. I advertise on YouTube. I advertise on Instagram. I advertise on Facebook. I advertise on Google. I advertise on TikTok. I'm even thinking about doing a little Snapchat. I advertise on Microsoft and Bing. But you know what? If all I did was focus on Facebook, I could win, right? If all I did was focus on Facebook, my customers are on Facebook. And so what I want to share with you is forget about the advertising for a second. How do we get free leads? How do I get leads and sales without advertising? How do I do that? Well, imagine a strategy and a tactic where we're leveraging these billions of people on Facebook and have them come right to you, raise their hand. I'm interested in your information. I'm interested in your content, your stuff, your product, your service. And they go into your customer journey, what we call a customer journey, or some people refer to them as funnels, sales funnels. And you end up getting free leads and free sales. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I'm going to spill the beans today. I'm going to show you how to do that. But I also want to lay this groundwork, going back to this platform. So let me go back to sharing my screen for a second. And if I were to type in, let's just go in here and we'll just do this live. How many businesses are on Facebook? Right? And now it shows me, okay, so let's pare it down a little bit. We went from 2 billion a day, 3 billion overall, to 200 million small businesses around the world using Facebook tools. But you'll go, okay, wait a sec, Greg, wait a sec. I'm only in the USA, or I'm only in this particular country, right? So you can even kind of break it down and you can say how many in the US are businesses? Okay, 90 million. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I don't need to get very many out of that 90 million to make things really beneficial for me. And so it just really is an amazing thought process, right? So let me break this down. You guys ready for me to break this down and show you exactly how to do this? So let's go over here to Facebook, and I'm just going to go to my home news feed, and I'm logged into Facebook in my news feed. And for most of us, we're searching on Facebook and we're going down these roads, and we see people's profiles, and you got Alicia Little, and you see her little ad, and then you go, wow, who is Alicia? And we click on Alicia's name. How many people have done this? Have you done this? You've clicked on somebody's name, right? You've clicked on somebody's name because you're in a group, you're in a chat, you're in a Facebook group, or you're on a Facebook page, you're going through your news feed, and you're just going, okay, what's Sheila? I'm living on IG, quite over tons of huge change in my life occurring. I'll announce later today. Oh, Sheila, what's Sheila doing? I go over to Sheila, and here's Sheila's profile, right? And you're going, now, I don't know about you, but I've done this thousands of times. Like when I want to hire somebody, when I want to do business with somebody, when I want to find out if I think they're real or not, or if I saw something I liked and I want to kind of do some homework and research on them, I've done this, right? And let's say you're a pest control. Let's say you're a hairstylist. Let's say you're a car mechanic. You're a local business. You're a restaurant. You're a bar. So hey, here's an idea. Let's go back over here and let me type in food. I don't even know if food comes up. Escondido. My office is in Escondido, California. And then I'll come down here to pages and let's see if anything comes up. Oh, a few things come up, right? And then if I was to click on Antonio's Mexican food, look, he doesn't have anything on here. Nothing here, right? So am I going to want to go do business with that guy? Probably not. Lourdes. Now, if you guys want to get some great Mexican food, you got to go to Lourdes. It's the best. It's the absolute best in Escondido, California, right? And look at this. A beautiful picture of their chicken soup. Okay. You know, I don't know about that. And again, I don't know if you guys know, but this search box up here, you can search, like I could search for friends in San Diego. And it will pull up all of my friends that say that they're in San Diego. See, friends who live in San Diego. Look at all these, right? And if I wanted to kind of go look at them, and again, you can just think about all the different ways people are searching and people come across you, right? Or here's another one. How about this one? How about we're in a group? Let me go to one of my groups. And I'm in, this is Facebook, this is LaunchCart's official group, right? And this is our official group. And I'm scrolling in our group here, and somebody makes a post like Emily Jane. I'm new to this group. Hope I'm welcomed, right? And I go, well, let me see who's Emily Jane. And I click on Emily Jane, right? And I see a beautiful tree, and there's her profile, right? So here's what we know. This is happening every day. And the more active you are on likes and comments and sharing and providing value on social media, there's more people clicking on your name and profile. Because when you are in a group or you're on a page and you answer somebody's question or you comment on a post and somebody finds that interesting, guess what they're doing? They're clicking on your name and they're going to look at your profile. So now let's take that given that happens every single day. And let's go, how do we leverage that? Okay, let me show you how we leverage that. We leverage that by going back to my screen sharing here, right here. And we're going to go back over here and we're going to click on Greg Ryder's name. Okay. And guess what comes up? Transform your social media profiles to generate unlimited free leads and sales. Works for any type of business. So if you're snooping on me and you're trying to do a little research on me, and you come to my profile, I got a big ad banner right in front of you. And it says, get started now, right? And then what happens to people is they click on that get started now thinking it's a button, but it's not really a button, just loads the image. But then over here, if you want to learn this hot new secret for Facebook Hack to get free leads and sales, click the link below. And then I put my link, I take them over to my website and, oh, I got some cookie problems. I got to clear my cache. Here, let me do that. Let me do this. I get so upset about that. Let me go to incognito. For something going on with my Chrome browser and it won't load sites. Oops, wrong one. It won't load sites properly. Copy. New incognito window. For some reason it works in incognito. But anyway, you click on this link and there you go. You get to my lead magnet, my offer. You get to my website where I'm telling you, hey, turn your social media profile into a powerful machine that grows your business fast on autopilot. Get unlimited free leads and sales. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Here's the whole sales process, right? So you think about what I just did, and it's about optimizing your profile, right? And again, if I hit click my view my main profile, which is where most people would get, you're going to see here, secret hack to generate free leads and sales. And I can put the link right there again. Then I can put the link right here under my bio. Then I can put some under my featured images. I can put some images that also talk about this whole benefit. So the idea is we need to spend the time to edit and optimize our profile pages that make a call to action to say, come get my lead magnet, come get the cheese. And I love this analogy. So here's what we want to do in marketing, right? You want to create something that speaks to your audience. I call it the articulated sales argument. Some other people call it the unique selling proposition. But what is that headline? What is that thing that you create I call it the cheese to the mouse? You know, like a mouse will like eat through a wall to get to the cheese. It'll go through the maze to get to the cheese. It'll just, these rats, they'll go anywhere to get to the food. What is it that you can create that the mouse will chew through the wall to get the cheese, that your prospect will go, I want that? So let me ask you guys a question. You're a small business owner. You're listening to me right now and you're watching this and you go, I need more leads and I need more business. If you saw that banner, would you click on that and go there and check it out? Because don't all small businesses want free leads and sales? Absolutely. I love this. Here we go. We got the first comment coming in. So thank you for that, NLP Life. It's really a simple no-brainer, but I just was showing you, and I could come back to my screen and I'm going to show you as I click on other people's names and go to other people's, where's my mouse? There we go. If I just go through my feed and I see who's on my feed, of course I'm on my feed. But if I click on any of these people's profiles and you go to their feed, now that's okay. Create and publish your book without writing a word. And then her website's real itty bitty small, right? But is that the cheese that makes me click? Oh, no, get the 17-step free download the video masterclass on how to get your book published without writing a word, right? You want to be able to create that lead magnet, and you can do this on your LinkedIn. You can do this on all your profiles. And then we also offer another tool. This is a side note. We also offer another tool called Launch Links, launchlinks.com. Make a note of this, that if you don't have launch links, you can go to launch links and create what we call a link in bio. A link in bio. And I'll show you my launch links for Instagram. Hold on. So I go to Instagram, and you know what? This strategy that I'm sharing with you is something that just was an epiphany to me, going, I got to make an image that looks like an opt-in box on my profile pages and get people to do it. But see this little link in bio on Instagram, I can only put one link. I can only put one link in bio. And this is launch links. And I click launch links and it brings up one link, and I have free e-commerce platform, earn up to $200 an hour, Master P t-shirt challenge, done for you merch store, supercharged. So if I wanted to have multiple offers, I could do that on one link. So if I wanted to have, going back to my profile page, and I wanted to do it with, whatever the lead magnet was, and have them go to a link where they had multiple choices, you could do that. But I really suggest that you focus on that one lead magnet that's going to bring people into your world. Okay. That one lead magnet that's going to bring people into your world. And again, as I go to different groups and places that I belong to all these different groups. And I'm sure that anyone on the internet is, I'm part of ClickFunnels group, and I'm part of Fast Boot Camp and Women's Prosperity Network and Printify Rockstars. And in any one of these groups I'm in, I can go through here and I can click on somebody's name and I can look at what they're doing. And more than likely, these are business owners. There's no lead generation here. This is a missed opportunity for lead generation. This is a totally missed opportunity for lead generation. And then you can type in businesses. You go through your search and you type in, let's say you're a type of business and you sell to small business owners, like local restaurants and bars and hairdressers and hair studios and pest controls and all those local businesses. This is critical for them, right? Critical for them. And you're going to get leads on a regular basis. Now, the next thing you can do is you can start running ads for that same lead magnet, right? So that's part one that everybody should do. It's simple, easy. Part two is you need to have that lead magnet, and you need to say, and again, the logic is, what is a lead magnet, Greg? I've never heard that term. I'm assuming most people have heard that, but maybe you haven't heard that term. What is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is something that I'll give you in exchange for you giving me your email and phone number, or your phone number or your email, or both, or whatever. But you're giving me the right to email you and market you in exchange for me giving you something of value. That's a lead magnet. And then we have a thing we call the trip wire. And the trip wire is something that costs something. Maybe it's $1. Maybe it's, I bought something the other day for $2.97. That was a trip wire, and it led me to a $27 upsell, and then a $97 upsell. And then they're trying to get me on a $3,000 a month coaching class, right? So this is what we call a customer journey and a funnel. And that's where LaunchCart CRM comes in. And let me share my screen again. And the idea is that now you take this concept to having your own technology that can do everything for you. So we have this platform called LaunchCart CRM, and literally you can manage your entire business only with one tool. With our tool, you've got email marketing, SMS text message marketing, landing pages, sales funnels, A/B split testing, WordPress hosting, social media management, reputation management, sales and pipelines, forms and quizzes, calendar scheduling, video hosting and tracking, Google, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, ads management. And literally we have dashboards that kind of run all this for you. We have everything you could possibly need. This platform replaces your MailChimp, your Active Campaign, your Constant Contact. This platform replaces your social media managers that you might be using to schedule out your post. This thing replaces Calendly, Soho Bookings, and the other calendar scheduling platforms you might use. Here's a really cool feature. For small businesses, and we're busy, we don't answer the phone all the time, our phone rings and we miss it, it goes to voicemail, and we got to try to call them back, we're playing phone tag. We have a technology in our platform that the minute you miss a phone call to your business, it'll instantly send them a text that says, hey, I saw that we missed your call over at LaunchCart. Sorry we missed your call. How can we help you? And guaranteed to help you get more sales and get more stuff. Reputation management, you want to kind of follow what's going on online with you. And then on the bottom here, you can see a whole comparison chart of all the different things that LaunchCart CRM replaces and does all in one platform. And then this Google My Business. How many people have a business that should be or is listed on Google. And did you know that Google has Google messaging? So boom, somebody can message you right from Google. Well, that's incorporated into our platform. Text to pay invoicing, and it just goes on and on and on, all the different things you can do with the Launchcart CRM. And again, the point is now that you have this strategy for people to click on something on your social media profiles for no fees, no money up front, and then boom, get them to a landing page. And that landing page, you want to get them to opt in, get your email address, get your phone number, whatever that information is. And then you want to hopefully try to build some trust with them, deliver some value with them, and then sell them something. And you're going to set this up all automated. Then you're going to kick in 5 emails. So now that they've done that, we have 5 or 6 or 10 emails that automatically go out. Maybe it's 1 a day for 5 days. Maybe it's 1 every 2 days for 10 days. Maybe it's 1 a day for a whole year. But we want to automate that marketing process. So as you're taking people through this lead process and this process, you have the ability to generate leads and sales while you're sleeping, and people are buying your products or services while you're sleeping, right? So if that makes sense to you, give me a thumbs up, give me something out there. Let me know what your thoughts are. Ask any questions that you have, because I just want you guys to understand everything is about a customer journey. And the customer journey, you want to speak to your customers in the method that resonates with them. So depending on the age they are, depending on the demographic they are, depending on the geographic location they are, you want to create that lead magnet. You want to create that language and those words that attract them to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in what you have. I'm interested in what you're doing, and bring them in that customer journey. And I know this is an old school story, but I do want to tell you, I want to tell you a story of how this worked before the internet. Okay. And I see that Genesis asks from Larry Walters, does your platform also host landing pages? Yeah, it's a complete CRM hosting pages, funnels, upsells, downsells, 1+ clicks. And then also we're integrating with our Launchcart CRM as well, because we also have the e-commerce side. But here, check out this story. So you know how we all grow up with family, and with family, my father, and he was very traditional. Very traditional. He wore a suit and tie every day. So when I was in my 20s and 30s, I wore a suit and tie every day. That's what my dad did. That's why I grew up doing that, right? So I remember I had to go buy a suit, and I went to this place that was like Men's Warehouse. I'm not even sure what it was called back then. I'm talking in the 80s, right? But they had they had a customer journey. The minute I walked in the door, the sales guy met me at the door. Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm looking to buy a suit. They immediately take me to the most expensive rack in the place where the $2,000 suits were. And back in those days, they were probably $600 suits or something, and I'm like, oh, no, that's too expensive for me. I don't have that. They, oh, what's your budget? And they ask me my budget. Then they take me to the rack where my budget is, right? And now they start showing me this suit and this tweed and this color and this black and this blue. And they show me all the suits, right? Then I finally pick out a suit. Now, are we done? And we go to the counter checkout? No, we're not done. Now we go over to the shirts. And he goes, let me show you what some shirts will look good with this suit. And they're really good at matching that stuff. They lay the suit out, they get the shirt out, they tuck the shirt in the suit, and they show you exactly what that shirt looks like wearing that suit, even though the suit's not on, right? And they do that with 5 or 6 different shirts. And you're going, okay, I'll take a shirt. Then they pull out a couple ties. And then they mix the ties with the shirts that you just picked. And you think you'd be done. Now let's go check out. No, we're not done. We got to have the belts. Got to look at the belts, right? And then you're going through the belts, and then they take you to the shoes. It's like, I'm not looking for shoes. I got shoes, right? And then, oh wait, you might want one of those lint things to get the dog hair off your suit, right? So they literally, and I don't know if anyone's listening to me that experienced this, but the entire customer journey, the minute I walked in that door, was scripted. Absolutely scripted. You could go in 6 months later and it's the exact same experience. It's the exact same experience for everybody walking in that door. Okay. So the idea is through our digital marketing and through our strategies, we have to create that same process online. So you come into my world, I make a comment on a post, you read about me, go, that was a smart comment. That was a cool comment. I didn't know that person published books. I didn't know that Bernardo had this expo. I'd like to go to the expo, whatever that is, right? And I get interested, but then what's the cheese? What's the cheese? It says, oh, click, that's my ideal customer. I'm going to raise my hand. I want in, right? Now the ideal customer clicks. They go to the landing page. You now give them more information. And we talk about this. I talk about this and I teach this marketing strategy that's interrupt with a headline that talks about the cheese and offering what they want. And then the subheadline is a promise that I'm going to deliver if you keep reading. And then from there, it's I'm going to educate you on what I have for you to offer. And then I'm going to make you an offer. And having a social media profile page without an offer, a click to an offer, is like running an ad on television with no offer. I don't know about you, but I'm not Pepsi. I don't have the kind of money just to run ads to build my brand. Right? So you should be always interrupt, engage, educate, and offer, right? You should always have an offer. And then you drive people into your funnel. You get them to opt into your system. And again, that's not it. It doesn't stop there. Now the next page has to give more education, make another offer, and then the next page and the next page. And then the email sequence has to follow up and give them more stories, tell them who you are, what your value propositions are, what you do and how you do it. And the minute you start to automate these emails, this marketing system, it's going to rain money down on you. It's going to rain money down on you. Now, let me give you one other really good example that I like. So I used to live on this cul-de-sac, and I was back when we had 5 kids and all the kids were home, and we had a big 5-bedroom house. And in our front yard of our house, we had a plum tree. And I'd never had a plum tree before. Actually, I had lived in Colorado all my life, and then we moved to California. And so I'm in Escondido, California, and I had a plum tree in my yard. And here's this plum tree. And you know how anything like that is. You got to water it. You give it some fertilizer. God rains down his beautiful sunshine on it. You give it some more water, some more fertilizer. God rains down some more sunshine on it. And you start to see those plums come out, right? You start to see them bud on the plum tree. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever had a plum tree, but this is kind of an amazing thing. I was blown away. And this is how marketing works. It's just like this. Those plums come up and you start to see them, and they're real hard and they're real small, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then more water, more sunshine, more beautiful, and then at some point, now what is that? For us, that's the email. It's the drip email. You're dripping email. You're emailing. You're sending out a video. You're sending email. You're making a post. You're constantly building up your brand and your reputation. And now those plums start to get ripe. And what happens with the plum tree is all of a sudden they ripen. And within literally, I think it was like 2.5, 3 or 4 weeks, the entire tree would produce 1,000 plums. They just start falling off the tree. They were so ripe and coming off the tree. And that's how your marketing should work, right? When you do it right and you put these calls to actions and you put out the bait and the cheese and get people to raise their hand and come into your funnel, and they hit this landing page for this offer and this landing page for this offer and this landing page for this offer, and you start to feed them what they're looking for and giving them the value that they want, then it's like ripening those plums. And then at some point, it just starts dropping off and dropping off and dropping off, and you start raining money. And again, that's why I call it the ATM machine or the profit faucet. You have that profit faucet. Then as you get to where you're in a position to start advertising, and you've already got these funnels and these customer journeys in all built and set up, you can start running traffic through those customer journeys. And now you just start giving somebody $1 and they give you back $2. You give somebody $1, give back $2. Give them 10,000, they give you 20,000. And that's the goal, is to get there. That's absolutely the goal, to get there. So this is a very simple strategy. I wanted to share with you a little bit of the philosophy behind it, a little bit of visuals behind it. Now, let me do one more thing, and I'm going to open up for questions. But I have an e-commerce platform, right? And so with my e-commerce company, somebody said, "Well, Greg, it's your idea of doing the free leads and the sales for a small business, that's a great lead magnet. Like, what small business doesn't want that? But what if I'm a jewelry company? What if I sell jewelry? What if I sell hair care extensions? What if I sell skin cream? What if I sell lip gloss or makeup?" Right? What could you do here? What could be that lead magnet here that's going to drive people to your store, get them to come to your store? And you know what I thought? I thought the best lead magnet for e-commerce is a gift card, a $10 gift card. Now, you're saying to yourself, wait a sec, you want me to give away a $10 gift card? Yeah. So I got to tell you, if you're going to advertise, it's going to cost you $10, $15 at minimum to get a customer or a lead. Maybe to get a customer, it might be as much as $30 to $50. Those days of $3 and $5 customer acquisitions are gone. But if you gave away a $10 gift card that could be redeemed at your store anytime, or maybe it's not anytime, maybe it's only a gift card good for 30 days, right? Now you're spending $10 to get a customer in the door. And then it's your job to sell them a second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time. It's your job to get referrals from that person and create such a great experience that they refer people to you, right? So you got to get out of the box, and then you say, okay, and then I'm giving away gift cards, and the gift card, people don't use it. Big deal. Now you still got a name and email, right? So it's really a combination of what attracts your ideal customer. And again, I see some of these people do giveaways. I'm giving away an iPod and I sell jeans. That's a terrible giveaway. Like, why would I give away an iPod? I'm maybe aging myself. Do iPods even exist anymore? Maybe I should say iPad. I remember the iPods, the little music things, you put the phone numbers on them. But let's say it's an iPad. Everyone wants to win an iPad, but not everyone who opted in to win that iPad wants jeans or going to buy jeans. We did this, so you want to do things that are relevant to your audience. They're going to attract your ideal customer and make that work for us. So you think about that. Now, it really just comes back to thinking it through, putting those out there, and then sometimes you have to test stuff. Sometimes you put something out there, it doesn't work. And you go, okay, next. And we call what we call split testing. And you can do split testing one of two ways. And you can't do it with your Facebook profile, but you can put something about your Facebook profile for a month, see how many leads you get. Put something else for a month, see how many leads you get. Or put them up for a week, see how many leads you get. Put them up for a day, depending on how active your fan page is and what you're doing. Or if you have money in your advertising, you can advertise and put people up to do that, right? So there's different ways of doing that, but it's always about testing and optimizing. And as we go through this customer journey, we want to increase 10% on our lead magnet, 10% on our tripwire, 10% on our core offer, 10% on having them come back and buy again. Now we've increased 40%, 10% along the ways, but that really increases your profits and your revenues like 3x, 4x. It really is significant when you do that kind of stuff. Thanks for the nice comments, Paul. Appreciate it. It really is that simple. And if you guys want to go down that funnel, let me put the link in here. It's just a real simple process of going down that path. And I got the dang incognito going. I guess you guys can go to my profile and see if you like. Okay, so I'm going to open up for questions. Who's got any questions or thoughts or comments? Like where are you stuck with this strategy? Are you stuck anywhere with this strategy that can help you get free leads and sales? Is anyone stuck? Up there, yep. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. I don't see anyone coming in. Bernardo, I finished a bit early, so I don't know if you got any comments or questions. I see you're still there. Now, for some reason, I'm not hearing you. Hold on a second. Is it my
Yeah,
headset?
no, it was me. Thank you.
Okay, gotcha.
No, I was saying that was great. That was so many tips, Greg. So many tips that are just so simple, and I don't know, but I know a large percentage of people are definitely not using them, not doing them. I mean, the profile, the links, obviously the multiple links on Instagram, and it was just a very simple, straightforward masterclass you just gave us there. We're asking some questions in Zoom. We're just waiting for some of them to come in. But yes, I mean, I think in particular, kind of what do you feel is the main? What do you think one of the main challenges is? I mean, because you're talking about Facebook, and I appreciate and understand how much money you can spend on Facebook, but a lot of the tools and skills that you're sharing here today are just very simple things and steps that can literally generate hundreds of leads for you.
Yeah, no, and really it just kind of boils down to, as a small business owner, you have to do one or two things. You have to learn this stuff and execute it yourself, or you have to hire the right coach and the right person that's going to help you execute these strategies and these tactics and these techniques for you.
And what do you think is because I mean, I'm very excited, obviously, with Launchcar, and I know, obviously, one of the main platforms out there is Shopify.
Shopify.
So obviously, what you bring is is just of such great value because anyone, I mean, anyone, and there's so many coaches, speakers, authors out there with products that can create product ranges. Literally, you're offering a business in a box. I know you've just literally jumped through Launchcard quite quickly, but can you explain a little bit more about how it works?
Yeah, sure. Well, Launchcart really is, we start off as an e-commerce platform because remember I said I did 400,000 sales in about 8 months, and I wanted to create a better platform. And then we also help people, like we got your store's getting ready to launch. If not launched already, you got the Best You merch, t-shirts and hats and hoodies and water bottles and coffee mugs. No inventory costs, no fulfillment headaches. You can put your brand, your logo on products at launchcart.com, and it's a small monthly fee for your hosting bill, and boom, you're up and running. And really, and then for me, what's unique about me is because I have 46,000 customers and counting. We have a lot of data and a lot of analytics, and we kind of know things that work faster than most people because we have so many people that we communicate with and that are under our umbrella with our software and our technology. We're on the leading edge of what's working now. And like this strategy I just showed you, it's working now, right? It's working right now. It really works good, and it works for everybody. Every business, and I know you know this, Bernardo, because I know I've seen your lead magnets and I've seen some of the stuff that you guys do, and that's how you've built up a list. That's part of how you provide value by doing these summits. It's just another strategy. So it's just you have to have the ability to capture a lead, have a list, and manage that list, and then from there you can really build a business.
Before I jump in, we've got some questions here for you, Greg. Launchcart very quickly, because a lot of people think, hey, you've got to buy the products, you've got to create. No, I mean, you already have brands that already are associated with Launchcart. All you've got to do is just select the products that you would like to sell, and it's just very straightforward. Someone could have a store up and running within a week, couldn't they?
Yeah, we actually can build stores in a matter of hours if you wanted to. But yeah, it's so simple, it's so easy. And we have what we call print on demand and manufacture on demand partners that partner with us. And they have millions of pieces of inventory that they pay for and that they pay for the inventory. And they sell it to us at wholesale. They print our logo on it one at a time. There's the minimum order. People go, what's your minimum order quantity? And I go, 1. You sell 1, they print 1, ship 1. You sell 100, they print 100 and ship 100. And you can do this with everything from coffee. Like literally, we're launching a coffee company called Get Your Own Damn Coffee to help support women's empowerment. So, and 400 other products. And so it really is amazing. And then we have our CRM that ties into everything. So you can really manage your funnels, your upsells, your downsells, and your email marketing, all that kind of stuff.
Well, look, I just wanted to share very quickly for those that wanted to get their phones out and obviously, directly go into finding more information about Launchcart. So you can just get your phones out and scan. If you're interested in obviously what Greg has just been sharing now, you can just scan it there. And Greg, we've got some questions here that I'd like to share with you. There's one.
The best way, Larry, is just to get involved in our training and what we're doing. We're teaching this, and we're sharing these strategies, and we're giving the tools and giving you everything you need to do that. So by scanning that link, getting on our list, and getting your free account, to get a free account on Launchcart, it's absolutely free. There's no strings attached, no hidden like we're going to charge you next week. You can get started for free today with that barcode that Bernardo just put up.
Another question here from Paul. What are your thoughts having about 2 profiles, one professional, one personal?
Well, I have 2 profiles, and I wish I didn't. But they forced me to go to 2 profiles when I had over 5,000 friends. But see, typically what Facebook is, you have your personal profile, then you have your business page. And I actually still use my personal profile mostly for family photos and family stuff. And then I have my business page, which is all business. And so I think that's the best strategy to go. And people that want to go down the rabbit hole and look at me as far as my family stuff and see my family and my kids and our vacations or whatever we're posting on, that's fine. I think that's all part of building trust and rapport. But it kind of depends on you and how you feel about your privacy and what you want to do.
Brilliant. Okay. So is there anything in particular that you would like to share additionally, Greg?
No, that's it. I think that's it.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's give a thumbs up to Greg. I'm going to share the link again for any of you that didn't have an opportunity to do so. Greg, thank you so much for being here today. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Bernardo. Appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. And do what I do. Wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude and tell somebody you love them. You'll have a better day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Well, there you go. So for some of you that were still interested in finding out a little bit more about Launchcart, that's it. That's your opportunity. We've got a store. We're just about to launch it now. We've got all the products there. It's something that we wanted to do for a long time, and Greg literally set it up for us in a week. So the store for the Best You is going to be up and running with lots of T-shirts, products, vitamins, you name it. We're very excited about launching that. And then if you're interested in signing up to the Blueprint, the Leads and Sales video masterclass with Greg, you've got the opportunity just to scan that now too. So we've got our next speaker coming up in a few minutes. I just wanted to make sure that if you are on Zoom and you've got any questions, please make sure that you put those questions in there, and we'll be sharing it here live. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching this on Facebook, please comments. We're very excited to bring you these 3 days of Global Summit. And the next speaker that I'm going to bring on shortly is Jeff Barnes. Now, Jeff was actually introduced to me by Greg Reiter, but he's someone that's also working with the Best You very closely. He came on board to help us with the Best You Expo in Los Angeles, and now he's part of our team, helping us expand and grow and reach. And I've got to say, I've worked with so many people over the years, but to have someone like Greg now bringing his expertise is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to read his profile in a minute, but not yet. What I wanted to do was just to simply share a very quick message, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, leaders, with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Previous speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marisa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Marie Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Marr, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo will be coming back in 2024 to Las Vegas, bigger, bolder. The Best You Expo will also be streaming on the Best You TV, and this event is for anyone and everyone that wants to commit, reach, and inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
So I'm going to carry on just letting you know what's next. Jeff Barnes is going to be talking about how you can 3x your revenue in 90 days or less. Ken Rochon is going to be following that at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Accelerate your abundance with a book. Tomorrow, day 2, Bill Walsh is going to be talking at 2 p.m. how to make bank as a public speaker. I will be talking at 3 p.m. the do's and don'ts for partnerships, but I'm also going to be talking about some of the exciting things that we're doing and how we're really revolutionizing to a degree the way that the Best You has, will be marketing the events moving forward. We're very excited to announce that we're bringing AI, simultaneous translation in multiple languages. And apart from that, we've got some great partnerships happening for our future events in Las Vegas. The dates are already confirmed, 12th, 13th, and 14th, 2024. I'll be talking about that. Then tomorrow at 4 p.m., I've got Craig Handley and Karen Camo. Now, they're going to be talking how to use social media to scale, grow, engage, and sell. Again, I work with them. They've got a great brand called Social Close. They do fantastic branding for companies. And tomorrow, so the day after tomorrow, on the 9th, I've got Jessica Abo from Unknown to Newsworthy, how to get press and master the media. That's June the 9th at 2 p.m. David Snyder, master NLP trainer. He's going to be bringing some phenomenal skills, the ultimate sales formula, how to sell anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And then at 4 p.m., we've got Jen Duplessis, Entrepreneurial Leadership, Letting Go to Grow. So I'm going to read very quickly my next guest's bio. His name is Jeff Barnes, how to 3x your revenue in 90 days or less with ticket sales without spending a dime on advertising. Jeff Barnes is a former U.S. Navy nuclear plant operator on a submarine, Navy diver, risk management director, technology enthusiast, business growth expert, advisor, and management consultant. Jeff sits on the boards of startup companies, runs a venture fund, supports nonprofits, supporting military vets, and spends most of his time helping CEOs and founders of growing companies automate, systemize, and scale to 8 and 9-figure valuations. As a chairman of Angel Investors Network and founder of Digital Evolution Marketing Group, Jeff has worked with founders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs around the world to accelerate the growth of their business and achieve substantial exits. He's a father, husband, veteran, business owner, advisor, and mentor. And his true passion in life is helping others achieve success, freedom, and autonomy in theirs. So, as I said before, Jeff is someone that's been helping us very closely for a few months now. I've been gobsmacked with some of the things that he's brought to the table. He's a systems man, and I just love anyone that can help, well, in particularly me, but also can help you and find ways where you can create revenue without spending this ridiculous amount of money that sometimes you have to spend on platforms like Facebook and Google AdWords. So let me bring Jeff in. Jeff, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Bernardo. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Well, you know Jeff very well. You know Greg very well, and you've obviously worked with him in quite a few businesses over the years. I just wanted you to say a few words about him because I think kind of he's a very humble man, and he didn't really get involved in many of the figures, the turnover that he's done with some of the businesses. But I know that jointly together, you've turned over a lot of money, and you've invested a lot of money in Facebook campaigns and all sorts of other things. So share us a little bit more about your experience working with Greg and kind of what you guys have done together.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been working with Greg for several years now. We were working together when we were scaling up our advertising campaigns and we did over $17 million in sales in about 8-9 months back in 2018, 2019. And it was just a whirlwind of what we were doing. And everybody knows how COVID affected everything. So our supply chains got shut down. That was a bit of a challenge. But we were doing $100,000 plus per day on advertising spend. And that's only sustainable if you're making money, right? So when it comes to understanding Facebook ads or anything digital marketing, Greg is the guy to listen to. I was the systems guy and I was the finance guy in the background, but Greg was the one really making sure that everything was working and making sure that we understood what we're doing on the advertising front, the digital marketing strategy and everything. And like you were saying, Bernardo, my thing is systems. I'm all about the systems and how do we take a vision that somebody might have and turn that into a system that can be executed by everybody and actually make the business grow. And Greg is one of those guys that has an idea a minute, right? He has all these different really great creative ideas. And when we can execute on them, we make a lot of money together and we have a lot of fun. And so it's just a matter of, for someone like Greg, it's like you just hitch your wagon to him and then try to hang on as tight as you can, right? It's actually a lot of fun working with Greg because he is so passionate. He's so driven. He's probably one of the hardest working people I've ever met when it comes to this stuff. We have calls pretty much every day. We're talking about something and going over that, whether it's, work, business, technology, digital marketing, family, life, everything like that. So a lot of fun working with Greg, and I couldn't recommend what he's offering more to anyone who wants to get an online store, get going and start learning how to start spending money on advertising.
Well, thank you so much. Listen, I'm very excited to work with you. I'm very honored that you're a busy man, and also in demand. You've got a lot of clients, a lot of customers, but I love that you've kind of seen kind of what we're doing and all the support we've had for you. So I'm very grateful, and I can't wait for people to hear you. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bernardo. Well, I really appreciate that, and I appreciate that lead in and that introduction. Very humbled to be here and very happy to be here and sharing this information with everyone. Now, like Bernardo was talking about, and like I gave a little bit of introduction to, I've done a lot of things over the years. And when Bernardo asked me to come on and start talking about this a little bit and what can we talk about, it was like, okay, well, what do we really want to focus on? And I looked at the rest of the speakers and what everybody else was doing. I said, all right, I understand CRMs, I would say better than practically anyone out there. I can compare myself to any of the other people because I built them. I built CRMs, I built ERPs, I've optimized systems for billion-dollar companies, the Navy, one of the biggest organizations in the world. So when it comes to systems and technology, I really understand that. When it comes to sales, talk and speaking from stage and doing all that, yeah, I understand that. It doesn't mean I'm the expert in that, but I understand it pretty well. I've written a couple of books. You can see them right over my shoulders here. One about investing and taking your retirement plan and investing in private equity and real estate. Another one about optimizing businesses. So I could talk about some of those things. But when it came down to it, it was like, well, what can we do? What can we provide? It would be really great value for everybody in the Best You universe that they could implement right away and start maximizing their ability to scale their business and start making money, right? like go ahead and just raise your hands. Let me know. Put me in the chat bot if you are interested in making more money and taking more control over your life and actually enjoying your life while you're making money. Like, let's be honest, making money is not the end goal, but we want to have freedom. We want to have fun. We want to have autonomy. So go ahead and let me know. Just go ahead and give a thumbs up, say I, write it in the chat box. Just let us know, because I really do want to make sure that everybody's excited about not only making money, but having fun in the process and doing something good with that money, right? Now, I know that we're on a little bit of a delay whenever we do StreamYard and we send stuff over. So I'm assuming people are coming in and saying, yes, they're excited about this. So when I ask that question, everybody says, well, I just want to make more money. I just want to do more with my money. And then we say, well, why do you want more money? What is it you want? Well, ultimately, what people want is freedom, right? They want the freedom. They want the autonomy. Now, here's the funny thing. I was in the Navy. I was on a submarine. I ran a nuclear power plant for a number of years. I had none of those, right? I did not have any freedom. Even if I wanted to quit and leave, it's not like when you're in the middle of the ocean, hundreds of feet underwater, that you can just open up the hatch and leave, right? You can't even quit. So I didn't have the freedom. I didn't have the autonomy. And I realized I didn't like that so much, which is why I didn't make a career out of it. I only stayed in for a few years. But after that, I said, I need a job where I don't have to go into an office every day. I don't have to sit in traffic. I don't have to deal with any of that. So I got a job where I saw my boss twice a year and I worked from home. So I was one of the original remote employees, right? I've been working from home for 17 years now, and it's been great. And so when COVID happened and everybody else started shutting everything down and working from home, it became a little bit more frustrating for me, because now everybody's working from home and most people didn't have the skills to do that properly. So let me know, raise your hand and tell me if you ended up working from home, doing remote work, and it became a nightmare. It became chaos, right? Because the kids are home from school. You know, you have all the laundry around you, you have the dishes, you have the house going on, you have the yard work that you have to deal with. You have all this other stuff that's happening around you, and it makes it really difficult to focus on getting your job done, right? And, you know, everybody's seen those videos, the people that had somebody in their underwear in the background of their video when they were on live television, or things that were maybe distasteful in the background. We didn't want to see any of that stuff. And we're seeing inside people's personal lives. And, you know, a lot of people, they don't understand that just working from home is not freedom. And so ultimately what people really want to do is they want to have that autonomy to maybe work from home. They want to have that autonomy to work where they want, when they want, how they want, and with whom they want. And they want the freedom to do things in their lives that they've been looking forward to. And so when I started figuring out all the different things that I do with my businesses and how we help people, we said, you know, one of the best things we can focus on is actually high ticket sales. So I'm going to bring up my presentation here. Go ahead and share a slide presentation here and bring this up. Now, hopefully, Bernardo, you guys can see this just fine. And I said, the best thing that I can help people with is high ticket sales strategy, and really only one particular piece, which is how do you get on the phone with people who want to buy from you? How do you really do that? And how do you do it without spending any money on advertising? Because like I said, we spent millions of dollars on ads. And I know what it takes to scale up an ad campaign, and it is not easy. And I still run advertising campaigns for my clients. And even though we've been doing this for years, it's always changing. There's always something happening. And so you have to be willing to lose some money before you figure it out. And we know that there's a process out here where we can actually create a sales strategy without you having to spend a whole bunch of money on advertising. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to talk about leveraging technology, automation, and systems to create a high ticket sales system. And when we do this, and you have a system in place, that's what we talked about before. When you have a system in place, guess what? You can put other people in charge of that system, and they can run the system. You don't have to run it all day, every single day. Now, who likes that idea? Who doesn't want to have to run the system every single day themselves, right? Absolutely. We don't want to have to do all that ourselves. And this is where CRMs come in. Greg was just talking about the Launchcard CRM, setting up storefronts, setting up all the automation, setting up the lead generation, all of that. Absolutely vital. Everything he said is spot on. Now what we need to do is we need to find a way to cut through that, because let's face it, if you're selling something that's $49, $50, $100, $500 even, it's going to take a lot of sales for you to get to that ultimate goal of freedom and autonomy and be able to have the profit margins you want to scale your business. So what we generally recommend is that you start at the high ticket side, selling something of incredibly high value, incredibly high perceived value that requires probably a lot of work on your part to deliver, but it has a very high margin. Okay. And the reason we do that, the reason we want to focus on that is because you can start creating that freedom faster, and you can do that. Now, we'll go into all the details about how you do that and what it is, what it's all about in a minute. But let me just give you just a really quick background on me. So I've helped my clients raise over $1 billion with a B in the last several years. Now, Some of these companies have raised a few $100 million individually, and a lot of them have raised a few $100,000. So it's all over the board. But normally it's technology companies that I help with, and I work with them a lot. And it takes a lot of time to raise money. I've raised money myself. And when you get a check for $50,000, $100,000, $500,000, it's pretty awesome to get that. But it takes a lot of work. Well, guess what? Raising money and high ticket sales, same thing. Okay. You're just selling something a little bit different. Now, I've added over $100 million in revenue to different companies over the years by implementing systems similar to what we're going to be talking about today, but at a more complex level. And I do believe that our business, Digital Evolution, is one of the best when it comes to creating advanced technology automation systems, specifically for marketing and sales. So I promise you, if you put me in a room with anybody else who develops systems, we're going to geek out on it, and no one's going to be able to, throw me under the bus and say that I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. Those are sort of my bragging rights, right? And I know that we've had a number of clients around the globe that can vouch for us on that when it comes to that stuff. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about a system to generate leads, just like Greg was talking about. How do we generate leads, and how do we convert them into sales? And how do we do that without spending a whole bunch of money on advertising, without building really complex systems and making it so hard for anybody to do that you can't actually get it done? Because let's face it, when you build this and you do it like this, it does take a lot of time to get it done properly. Okay. It does take a lot of expertise. And this, what you're seeing here is a blueprint for a sales funnel. And there's so many moving pieces and parts, and it just takes a long time to implement it. So even though a lot of people say, yeah, we'll just put together a sales funnel, just a 2-page funnel, no big deal. Well, even a 2-page funnel has a lot of stuff going on behind it to make it work properly. Okay. But we're not even going to talk about sales funnels today. We're going to talk about making money quickly. So if I say, hey, how much money do you want to make? Let's just say you're a solopreneur, you're a small business owner, you have a few employees maybe. A lot of people say, well, I'd love to be able to make $1 million a year. Now, $1 million is not what it used to be. I realize that, but we're going to stick with $1 million, and we're going to say, based off of this, here's how much it's going to take to get to $1 million at different sale points. So if I'm selling something at $10 per unit, $10 per sale, that means I have to have 100,000 sales to get to $1 million. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of sales. That's the Coca-Colas of the world. That's the food companies, the Starbucks of the world. That's those guys. That's how they make their $1 million, right? So every single McDonald's store might be pulling in $1 million a year or more, selling a $4, $5, $10 burger and meal, right? Well, I don't really want to build that. That's a lot of employees and a lot of stuff that you have to build up. It takes a lot of time. Now, we also know there's a roughly 1% click-through rate. So I said conversion rate, but 1% click-through rate on advertisement that you put out there in the world, meaning 1% of all the people that see that ad in digital marketing world are going to click on it. So like Greg was saying, we used to be able to get clicks at 2 cents to 5 cents per click to come over there, which meant we could get a lead for $1, $2, $3, something like that. But when you're talking about getting a 1% conversion rate, even that is pretty good going to a cold audience. We're pretty happy if we get a 0.5% conversion rate on the ad, from the ad to the landing page. Okay. So just start thinking about this math as we're going through. And I'm trying to make it as simple as I can. So just bear with me here. So at $100 per sale, I need 10,000 sales, which is roughly 1 million visitors to my site. So if you have a brick and mortar business and we say, okay, we sell a $100 product and we want to make $1 million, I have to have 10,000 sales come through, which means, if I'm only converting 1% of the people that are driving by, I've got to get 1 million people to drive by my store. I've got to get 1 million people to see my ad. I've got to get 10,000 people to come to my site, right? And again, we're not even talking about all the things you have to do and to optimize every step of that funnel. At $1,000 per sale, okay, I only have to make 1,000 sales. That's roughly 3 to 4 sales per day. That's not terribly difficult if you have the lead flow. But to get the lead flow, you have to have 100,000 visitors coming through, right? That's how we get those numbers. At $10,000 per sale, I only need 100 sales. That's 10 per month, give or take, right? 9 to 10 per month. That's not too bad, but I still need 10,000 people to come to my site and to go in and to opt in and do all of that. Now, if you're not spending money on advertising, how are you going to get that many people, right? That's the question. But let's just look at how much it's going to cost you if you are spending money on advertising. Let's just say it's $1 to $5 per click, and I need 1 million visitors to my site to get there. Well, I'm spending anywhere between $1 million to $5 million in advertising over the course of a year to do that. Now, if you have this ad budget for $1 million to $5 million, you let me know, and we will help optimize this right away, okay? So go ahead and put it in the chat box. Send me your contact information. We'll get you all set up, and we'll really help you scale up. But let's be honest. most companies, and when I say most, I mean like 99.9% of the companies in the world do not have $1 million plus ad budget per year. Most companies do not. Okay, so that means we have to find different ways around this to avoid getting, having to do that. So we can either increase the amount per sale, right? So we can go up to $1,000 per sale. Well, even still, given this, I need $100,000 to a $500,000 budget in advertising just to drive those people there. Now, let's just say it is going to cost me $500,000. Well, if I'm spending $500,000 on ads to drive $1 million in revenue, that's not exactly the most profitable funnel, right? It's a 2-to-1, what we call ROAS, return on ad spend. But even that is not necessarily good enough to cover all the overhead, all the taxes, all the employees, all the costs of running a business, right? So we're hoping it's going to be lower on the spectrum of $1 click, but we don't know until we test it. And even still, even if it is $1 per click, that's $100,000 in advertising budget. Again, if you have that, great. You should be running advertising. Any business that's ever scaled up has to spend money on ads. Like, let's be really clear about this. There's almost no business under the sun that scales beyond, say, 8 figures, $10 million or more in revenue per year without spending money on advertising. Even the direct sales companies spend a lot of money on advertising, okay? So you got to be thinking about that as you're scaling up. Now, if we're at $10,000 per sale, I still need a $10,000 to $50,000 ad budget. Now, that's not terrible. That's doable for a lot of companies, but it is still quite a bit of money. And so I want to talk to you about how do we fix this? How do we go in and start getting all those people in without spending all of the money on advertising? Who here wants to learn exactly how to start scaling your company up without spending any money on advertising? Okay, good. Yeah, say I, put me, give me a thumbs up, give me a high five, something like that on your reactions there, because we do want to help you. We want to show you exactly how to do this. And I'm going to show you exactly the system that we need to do that. So if you don't have $10,000 for advertising every single month, how do you find the leads you need to fill your sales pipeline? And this is where a lot of people fall apart. They go back to, I'm just going to post on social media all day, every single day. And that works. There's no doubt about it. That works. If you have a great message, you build your brand, you build your presence, you can absolutely do that. But then what happens when you sell them a high ticket thing, right? You take all of that time and energy that you were spending on doing your social media, and now you have to service the client. So if you don't have it systemized yet, you take all this energy that was generating the revenue and the sales, and you divert it into operations, and then it all falls apart. Right? So we need sales, marketing, and operations to all be aligned. So this is what a lot of people do. They look at prospecting. Now, prospecting the traditional way, door-to-door sales, right? You're sending letters in the mail. You are looking up things in the phone book. You're making cold calls. You're going to networking events. You're setting up pop-up booths all over the place, right? It's a lot of in-person interaction. Now, the modern equivalent of that is I'm making calls on my phone. I'm sending SMS. I'm sending WhatsApp messages out. I'm emailing people. I'm going on the internet. I'm browsing forums. I'm building up my groups on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever else. And I'm just networking as much as I can to prospect, to find people. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but when I start looking at prospecting and doing all of these different things, what it makes me want to do is this, right? I just want to sit there and scream at my computer because I'm sitting at my computer all day long, messaging people, writing people, putting stuff on posts. I don't like to get on Facebook. I don't like to get on Instagram. I don't like to be on social media at all. I have a team that helps us put stuff out there. But if you ask me to get on my phone and start shooting a video to get on those, it's never going to happen. I can't stand doing that stuff. So it really just drives me absolutely bonkers having to spend all that time on that. So instead, what we want to do is we want to talk about systems. We want to talk about the systems you can build to make this all happen. Who here wants to know how to systemize prospecting? Go ahead and raise your hand. Give me a thumbs up. You say aye. We want to make sure you understand this because the system is what's going to get you the leads. It's going to get you the sales and everything. We're going to talk about the systems. Now, go ahead and put in the chat really quickly. And I can't see it right now, but go ahead and tell me where you think we're going to find all these elusive leads. They're going to pay a lot of money to pay you to do something for them that's going to help you ultimately get to that goal of scaling your business, freedom, autonomy, hiring other people. Where are we going to find these people, right? We got to go find them somewhere. Well, here's the thing. The truth is LinkedIn is the absolute best place to find your ideal clients when it comes to selling high ticket services. Okay. Now, would you like to see? You got to say yes. Everybody put a yes in the box, put exclamation points, put all that stuff if you're ready to see how we do this. I got to see it. I got to make sure you guys are all doing that. So let me go ahead and take a look over here. All right, we're getting a lot of yeses coming in. Wonderful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this up over here and share my screen again. Just give me 1 second. I'm actually going to do this live. And this is one of those things that when you're doing something live, you better know what you're doing, right? Because anything can go wrong with technology. So bear with me, guys. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to share my screen. I'm going to share my window. And let's make sure I share the right window. Here we go. So here is LinkedIn. Now, I like to help a lot of people that are in, say, the financial services world. My company, Angel Investors Network, we help people raise money. We help investors find deals. So I might want to go out there and find other people who are looking to network with or find high net worth individuals. So let's just say, for example, I get a financial advisor as a client, or I want to go get financial advisors as a client because I know how to get in front of high net worth people. And I want these financial advisors to pay me money to help them do that. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my search results in LinkedIn. I'm going to type in financial advisor with the quotes. And what this does is it's called a Boolean search. It means I'm only searching for those two words in that exact order. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to search financial advisor. Now, what I want to do is I can look at all the people that I'm connected to, first degree connections. So I have 264 results. So 264 people that I'm already connected to. This is the way LinkedIn works. It does by connection level, right? So we've all heard 6 degrees of separation. That's kind of the way that LinkedIn works. So I might say, okay, I want to go after these first degree connections. They're already connected to me. I'm going to reach out to them, message them and say, hey, Scott, for example, saw that you're a financial advisor here in Federal Way, Washington. I'm reaching out to all the financial advisors I know in the local area because I have an incredible opportunity for a couple of select clients who might want to start generating more sales and more leads online. If you're interested, send me a message back, right? So we just write a message to them and we send it over to them. Okay. So that's how we go. And you can see I've already done that with this guy. So I've set it up and there it is. Now I can go through and I can do that one by one by one. I can just take a template and I can put that, I can copy and I paste and I put their names in. All right. Very easy to do. Now I can also say, I want to look only for people in California. Let's say I live in California and I only want financial advisors in California that I'm already connected to. Here we go. I can reach out to these people directly. And now what we have is what's called affinity. Hey, AJ, saw that you're a financial advisor here in California in Huntington Beach. And I'm reaching out to a few of my connections to find out if you're interested in getting more sales and more leads online of high net worth, affluent individuals, right? I'm just starting the conversation. I'm going to send them a message. If they don't respond, I'll send a message 3 days from now. And in 3 days, I'll say, hey, AJ, it looks like you didn't see my message. Let me know if you're interested in this. If not, I'll stop messaging you. And if he still doesn't respond, maybe a few days later, I'll say, hey, AJ, I still haven't heard back from you. I just wanted to bump this to the top of your inbox. Right. So now I've hit them 3 times in the course of 2 weeks. There's almost no chance they're not going to see that, whether it comes up in their email or it comes up in their LinkedIn app or whatever. They're going to see it from me. But what if I want to reach out to my second degree connections? I want to find financial advisors in California. There we go. I have 4,100 results that I can go after. Now, that's a pretty good number of people to go after, but it's still like a shotgun approach. I want to laser target this in and I want to find my exactly right people. So I'm only going after ideal prospects. So I'm going to click on this all filters. I'm coming down, say second degree connections in California. And I'm going to say at the current company. So for example, I might look for someone that works at Raymond James, right? I know that's a financial institution that people work at. And as a result of them working at Raymond James, I can now, I don't know why this thing is still showing up and being in my way here, but there we go. So now I can go and I click show results. So financial advisors working at Raymond James in California, guess what? Now what I've done is I've narrowed the field down to 44 people. Out of these 44 people, I can message every single one of them in the course of 1 day, no problem. Send them a message and say, hey, Tate, I saw that you work at Raymond James in Reading. I'm reaching out to other Raymond James financial advisors who are interested in getting high net worth clients for their book of business. Are you interested? Right? and you insert whatever you want into your field. So if you're going after fitness professionals, you're going after gym owners, you're going after mommy bloggers, you're going after podcasters, you just insert that stuff. And what it does, it tailors it down for them. And they say, oh, this person actually looked me up and they know something about me. And as a result, I'm going to reply back to them versus a generic, bland, yeah, I don't know anything about this person. It's just spam. See you later, right? Because let's face it, we live in a world where we are all being inundated by messages and spam and marketing all the time. We want to know that the person who's reaching out to us has actually taken a minute to even figure out if we're a good fit for them. Okay. So as an example, we would do something like this. Now I might even say, let me do something that's even more ninja. I mean, that one works pretty well, but let's just say that I went to University of Phoenix. Okay. I can go and I can say, okay, there's 91. Now I didn't go to University of Phoenix, but I can go to 91 people in California, second degree connections, and I connect with them. I can say, hey, Shannon, I saw that you're a wealth advisor in the San Francisco Bay Area and you went to University of Phoenix, and so did I. I'd love to connect with you because of your work in this field, right? Or because we're alum together, right? We can tie it all together. So now it's very personalized. And what ends up happening is they connect with you and they say, yeah, I'm interested in connecting with you. Absolutely. Why not? And once they connect with you, then you have an ability to message them. And you can say, hey, I'd love to talk with you about your business and see if there's a way I can help, right? You can go straight to the jugular that way if you really wanted to. Now, I don't really recommend that, but some people do. Some people say, no, I just want to talk to them right now and find out if they're interested today. If they're not interested today, so be it. Okay. It's not the best way to do marketing because you want to actually develop rapport with people before you ask them to do something. You want to provide value to them before you ask them to get on the phone with you, talk to you, whatever, right? We need to build that value up first. So we might send them, hey, here's a special report that we created specifically for wealth advisors. I thought you would really like this, and just send it to them. You don't need their phone number. You don't need their email. You don't need anything else because they're already connected to you, right? And they might say thanks, or they might say go pound sand. We don't know yet, right? But normally they would say thanks, okay? So now we've started a conversation, and we just continue the conversation. And about the third or fourth message, we might say, hey, Shannon, we've been connected for a little while. I really appreciate you replying back to me. Would you mind getting on a call with me for 15 minutes to see if there's maybe some ways we can collaborate, right? Don't make it come off as a slimy, used car salesman. Hey, this is the best car ever. You got to get in it. Why aren't you getting in it? We don't want to do that, right? We want to come across as professional. Now, again, like I said, some people might go straight for the jugular and say, hey, Shannon, I help wealth advisors in the Bay Area increase their book of business through, direct connections with high net worth people. Are you interested? Right? I might go straight that route. It's not my style, but it is for some people. And if you start getting really busy, well, you got to use that. Now, this is the way you can use LinkedIn directly. Who here likes and has learned something just from seeing this? And don't worry, guys, we have ways to systemize this. We'll get into that in just a minute. But who here likes seeing just this part so far? Is this making sense? Okay. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this, and we can actually use Sales Navigator to do that. So now let's say I want to go and I want to target owners of businesses. Now, you do not need Sales Navigator to do this, all right? But let's just do the exact same thing. I want to go after financial advisors. Okay. I'm going to go after second degree connections. I only want to go after people in California. And I want to go to people who have at least, say, 50 people in their business. Because if you have 50 people in your business, you generally have a real business. It's actually spending money on advertising. It's doing all of that. And I might want to look for somebody who is very senior. So like a CXO level, so that's CFO, CEO. I might want to look at the owners. Oops, not senior. Owner and partners. So here we go. I have financial advisors in the state of California with at least 51 people in their business. I can go directly to this person. Now, if I'm trying to build a rapport with somebody who is going to want my services, I can go after Arthur and say, hey, Arthur, looks like you have a really flourishing business there at Paragon Wealth Management. I would love to chat with you about how we can help your advisors get more clients. Are you interested? Right? A lot of people will just say no because they're getting so many messages from other people. But when I start to say, hey, Arthur, I saw that you're the owner of Paragon Wealth Management. And, if we have something else in common, right? So going back down to the school, let's just say, UCLA. So we'll take Robert. Robert, hey, I saw you're a wealth advisor there in San Francisco at Parallel Advisors. I'd love to see if there's a way I can help out with you getting more clients for your book of business. It looks like we both went to UCLA around different times, but if you're interested, let's chat, right? So we can go after, and we can get as granular as we want. And here's the thing, guys, you don't need thousands and thousands of leads. Everybody thinks we need thousands of leads. If you get really good at one segment of the market, right? The underwater basket weavers of Marin County that meet every Wednesday, and they go it's going to be a really, really small list, but they're going to be intimately familiar with you eventually, and they're going to love your offer because it's tailored just for them. Okay. So, hey, Neela, saw that you're the co-CEO there at Abacus Wealth Partners. I'm reaching out to financial advisors who went to UCLA because I'd love to help you get more leads for your business. That's really, really tailored, right? Because I'm going after people in California. I can go after people in LA. I can go after just the people who went to the same school as mine. And you can see all the different things that we can search for. Okay. So there's a lot we can do with LinkedIn. Now, again, this is just the LinkedIn portion. So I want to find out, is this interesting? Are you guys learning something from me so far? Have you gotten some good value out of this yet? And if you have, let us know. Say yes, say aye, raise your hand, give me a thumbs up, something. Let me know. I want to make sure that everybody's getting something out of this. All right, good. Awesome. So thanks, Paul. And yeah, where do you find the leads? Hopefully we just went over that. Hopefully that helps people understand where do we find the leads. So I want to make sure you guys got that. If we got that, we're good. Okay. Do I recommend endorsing, commenting, tagging? Yes, absolutely. Okay. That's another part of the strategy. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yes, we definitely want to do all these other things that are going to generate goodwill. Okay. A lot of the problems that we face when it comes to advertising is that people are really skeptical, right? Every generation, we're getting more and more skeptical, right? People have gotten burned. They don't trust the advertising agencies. They don't trust the ads they see. They don't trust the companies they've worked with, and on and on. So as a result, people have gotten very skeptical. And what we have is what we call threshold resistance. People need to see a lot of value before they take an action to engage with a brand or a person, because they just don't know if it's going to work out for them. So this is where, going back to Greg's talk earlier about social media strategies, the more stuff you're putting out there and you're being seen, like me talking here for about an hour with you guys, hopefully you're seeing, yeah, there's a lot of value here and there's a lot of information. So maybe when I ask you to do something later, you might be inclined to do that. But if I would just put an ad in front of you and say, hey, buy my thing right now, more than likely you're just going to move right past it. You're not going to worry about it at all. Okay. So now, who here wants to learn how to systemize this entire process and set it up on autopilot so you don't have to do this every single day? Go ahead and say yes, say aye, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, let me know. I want to make sure we got some good people coming in here. All right, cool. Yep, we're seeing some folks coming in. They're saying I love it, definitely. All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to jump into systemizing this entire process. So let me share my screen again. I'll make sure I'm sharing the right window again. And there we go. So we have developed a tool called Linked Generator. And Linked Generator is a way that you can generate leads from LinkedIn. Okay, so Linked Generator. And I'm going to show you exactly how this tool works. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and set up a campaign live while we're here and show you some of that stuff. But I want to show you some examples of what it looks like when this campaign's running. So let's just say I'm reaching out to marketing. These are prospects for our company in Washington State. So remember, I said I was going to go after certain clients in a certain area so I can build a campaign. And you can see right here, I have 100% of the people that I reached out to accepted my message. That's because I did first degree connections. Out of that, 37% replied to me. Look at this, 265 people replied. You think we got business out of this? Absolutely, right? And then I can go in and I can look at all the chat from all of these people, and I can see information about all of these people. Now, I should be really careful of what I show here because you can start to see people's phone numbers and emails, and I don't really want to share all that. But you can see now I can pull in emails, I can pull phone numbers, I can go out and I can hand this off to a salesperson. I can say, hey, this person replied, email them. Hey, call them. Here's their phone number. Just call them up, right? So it takes the prospecting portion and marries it with technology. Now, that was a little bit of a sneak preview, but let me show you what the campaigns look like. because these are really cool. I can come in here and I can say, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and send out a message. Let me show you what the search results look like just so you can see them. So here we go. They have 51 or 11 to 50 or 51 to 200 people in the state of Washington that are not in the advertising agency. Okay. And they are a first degree connection and their function is entrepreneurship or business development. Now, why would I do that? Why would I go after those specific people? Well, the main reason why is because I'm always looking for those people who want to generate more leads. I want to make sure they're a company that can afford us, right? You know, that's the thing about marketing and sales. You got to go after people that have the willingness and ability to pay. If you're barking up the tree and you're going, like, let's just say you're trying to sell something to somebody that has zero money at all, but you know they need your services, right? You know, if you are selling to somebody that does $0 whatsoever, then you better be willing to work for free just to get a good testimonial because you're not getting paid out of them. Right. But here's the other thing we know is that people that don't pay generally do not follow through on their commitments. Right. So we don't want to do that. So the next thing is the willingness to pay. So if you're in the fitness business and you want to help these people that are overweight and obese and they're struggling to get out of bed every morning and they're hurting and they flat out tell you every single time you talk to them about just changing their diet, nope, I want to have my Twinkie and my Coke every single day. They don't have the willingness to buy your services or change. They have no willingness to do it. Even if they have the ability to pay, if they're not willing to move forward with what you're doing, you're not going to get them results and they're not going to stick around. So willingness and ability to pay are important. So I'm going to go after people that I know have employees, that I know have decent revenues, and I can gauge that based off the number of people in their company. I can go after their function. I can go after their seniority level. I can go after people based off how much experience they have. So if I want to say, I only want to work with people that are seasoned, that have been around for a while, here we go. I can go after these folks. Or I can say, you know what, I want to go after people that have just gotten into business. Now, I'm not going to find too many of those in this, but here we go. There we go. Daniela Lewis, Director of Sales and Business Development at Circuit of Northwest. She's only been in this for a couple of years, so she's probably really young. And maybe if I have something that appeals to that crowd, I'll go after her. Okay. And I just want to message them. I just want to connect with them. I just want to have a conversation and see if it's a good fit. All right. So we can change all of these different parameters. We can go after new people. We can go after existing connections. We can do all of this. The goal over here, 13,000 results. That is far too many for me to go after. So I'm going to narrow it down as much as I can. I want to get this like below 500 if I'm going to go after somebody. And I really want to see if they are a good fit for me by using all of these different filters. So I might go to seniority level. I'll go to my owners only. Well, geez, now I have 5,000 business owners, right? That's 5,000 people in the state of Washington alone who are second degree connections. Guys, you can build an entire business on selling to people in your own backyard. You don't have to go national. You don't have to go everywhere, right? You can just focus on exactly who you want to help in your own backyard and start local, start small, and start easy. Now I've got this all. I'm going to pull this in and I'm going to put it into my search campaign right here. I'm just going to paste my link and there we go. So that's how we got this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sending them a message. Well, if I haven't connected with somebody, I need to connect with them first. LinkedIn will not allow you to message people without using InMail, which InMail has become very spammy. So we don't recommend that. But you can't mail them or you can't message them without connecting first. So if you're not connected, then you got to go that route. So let's actually do this on the fly. I'm going to actually duplicate this campaign. So I'm going to take my marketing agency prospects. So I'm going to duplicate my campaign. All right. Very simple for me to do. Second degree connections. Okay. And I'm going to say, hey, the first thing I have to do is I have to connect. So I'm going to send a connection request. Now, if I want to, I can just leave it a blank connection request, but I don't really want to do that. So instead, I'm going to include text. Well, we already know that the sweetest sound anybody's ever heard is their own first name, right? Somebody else saying their first name gets them really excited. So we always lead with that. And these placeholders take into account all those really silly things you might see on somebody's LinkedIn. And we're going to weed all that stuff out. Like if they put a star, if they put squiggly lines, if they put emojis, we're going to get rid of all that. So I'm going to say, first name, and I'm going to go after, in this case, let's just go after these people in the financial services space. So in the industry, we'll include financial services. We'll go after them. All right, that's 350 results. Perfect. That is perfect for me. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring this over. Let me save this step real quick and let me put that search in. I'm going to paste my search in, click add the search, and there we go. So the first thing I got to do a connection request. First name, it looks and just something really simple, right? So you're in the financial services sector here in Washington State. Okay. I could say advisor, financial service advisor. You're a financial advisor. And I'm just going to go ahead and save that. Now, you notice, okay, this is step number 5. Well, that's not going to help me any. So I've got to move this up to step number 1. So now step number 1, you can see really simple drag and drop. I can put it in there. And then, okay, hey, first name, just want to reach out, see how things are going for you these days. Well, that's not really a good message for me. I'm going to go ahead and delete this message. Okay. So now I've sent a connection request. Well, the next thing I have to do is I have to wait until they've connected with me. Until they've connected with me, I can't really do much else because it's not going to be very helpful for me to send messages if they're not going to accept them, nor will LinkedIn allow it, nor does visiting their profile or fetching their posts. That doesn't really help. So now I'm going to add another step in here. I'm going to send a message. Okay. And in this message, I'm just going to say, thanks. And I'll put their first name in here. I'm actually not going to put my name on. And the reason why is because when you're on LinkedIn, it's not like email. So I'm going to leave my name out of there. And I'm just going to say, I'm just going to leave it very open-ended like that. Okay. So they might reply, they might not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set this up for 2 hours after my last iteration. I'm going to click that. And I'm going to move this up to step number 2. Okay. So there we go. Step number 1 is a connection request. Step number 2 is a message. Step number 3, I'm going to view their profile. I'm going to like their last 3 posts, and I'm going to endorse them for a few skills. Now, this might look very self-serving, okay? And let's be honest, it is. I'm not going to lie about that. We're definitely trying to get on their radar. But here's what happens. They may ignore all of their messages, but a lot of people, this is just like human nature. They cannot ignore their notifications, right? So here's all the notifications. And when it says somebody endorsed you, you're going to see that right here in the notifications. So many people just cannot ignore that. And so by doing this one little step of visiting their profile, fetching their post, because that's LinkedIn speak or computer speak for let's go ahead and grab their last 3 posts and like them, and then endorsing them for skills. Well, geez, you're going to be right on their radar as soon as that happens. And so we put an hour break in there. That way they know after we sent that last message, we've looked at their profile and so on. Now, you can also, when you have the professional plan of LinkedIn, you can see who looked at your profile. And it's going to say, hey, Jeff Barnes looked at your profile. They're interested. Okay. So there we go. I've been running a number of ad campaigns. This is message number 3. It's step number 4, but message 3. And I'm just going to ask them, hey, are you interested? Now, you can see I've been studying Agora Financial and Fisher Investments a lot lately. And it's fascinating to me to see how these behemoths are still masters at direct response. And I can even say, if you'd like to implement any of these strategies in your business, let's chat. All right. I'm sending this out 4 days after my last message. So I'm not trying to, message them every single day. There we go. 4 days. And then last one, we create a little marketing quiz. Here's the link. I'm actually going to put this out like 6 days later. So I'm not trying to go too hard and fast. Now, here's the thing. As soon as somebody replies to this, the campaign stops. And why is that? Well, if somebody replies, if they say, hey, yeah, Jeff, let's go ahead and connect and let's get on a call. And I send another message out a few days later saying, hey, let's get on a call. It makes me look like an idiot, right? I don't want to look like an idiot. So we make sure that the system stops everything that we're doing and we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and click run campaign right now. And now, next time we talk, when I show you guys this, you're going to see exactly what the results look like. Because Now we have second degree connections there. Let's get this out of the way. And we're just going to start this process pretty quickly. Okay. Now, who here like that strategy? Who here thinks that that could really help you boost your business, make a big difference, and all of that, right? All right, awesome. Presentation's great, wonderful. Enjoying the presentations. Oh yeah, well, hey, we're not too far from Federal Way or Olympia, so that's great. Can I enlarge it or make it less fuzzy? You know, I don't think I can make my screen less fuzzy, unfortunately. So I'll see what we can do with that one. But that's kind of step one, right? And that's getting the messages going. Now, the next phase, of course, is we've got to start replying when people come in. So as people are replying to us, we want to have somebody else there helping to reply to these people. We can look at that. So now you guys can see how we can leverage LinkedIn. LinkedIn has over 800 million active users in their database. We only need a few hundred to go after to start closing these sales. Now, when you're closing a high ticket sale, let's be honest, it takes a little while to close those sales. But here's the one thing that it takes that you cannot replicate in almost any funnel. If I'm going to sell something for 5K or 10K or 100K, I got to talk to them, right? I have to get on the phone with somebody and physically talk to them. I can't just send them a webinar and just hope that they're going to go ahead and buy from me, right? We have to get on the phone. So a part of the strategy is let's create a calendar link. Let's send them out, whether you use Calendly or like our CRM, we embed that stuff in. They can book an appointment. They can get on your calendar and you can call. You can also call directly from a CRM. You can call directly from your mobile if you want to. All of this stuff is possible, but you've got to be able to get these people in. So like I said in the beginning, the way that you 3X your business in the next 90 days is through high ticket. Hopefully I made that point for you that if you close more sales at $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 or more, then it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to triple your business versus selling something for $500. Okay. Now I'll tell you one of the coolest sales that I ever made. It was a 7-figure one presentation close. Okay. And it was with a big corporation. And it wasn't when I was an entrepreneur. I was actually working for another company, but they brought me in. They said, Jeff, we need somebody who understands what you guys are doing to really help close the sale, because these guys, they're on the fence. We don't know if it's going to work. We don't know if it's going to happen. So can we please go ahead and have you come and give a presentation to them? And so sure enough, I actually went to Olympia because we're working with a state agency and we're coming down and we're competing, and they'd already gotten all the proposals from everybody else. And so I've never talked to any people. I don't know who they are from Adam. And we go and we make a presentation. And at the end of the presentation, what we had done is we convinced them that the value of our services was so much greater than what they were being expected to pay that it was a no-brainer. And that's what you got to do when you're closing these sales with these people. So we haven't had a time to go into all of that today, but I do want to go into that with people if you guys are very interested in doing that. And I want to show you how you can get on the phone with those people. Because at the end of the day, when we got done with that presentation, it took about an hour and a half, 2 hours total. They signed the contract for 3 years at $350,000 per year with us, right? So right away, we got a 6-figure payday almost instantly. And then over the next 3 years, over $1 million. So a 7-figure sale over the course of 3 years. And the way that this all started was by creating that engagement, building the value, sharing great information with them, and showing them that what they're getting for what they're paying is worth way more than what they're actually paying us. Okay. So I don't think I have a whole lot of time here left. I hope this has been really helpful for you guys. There's a lot more I'd love to cover. So what we have done is we've actually created a masterclass. And in this masterclass, we're going to show you how to use our tool, how to use our software, how to use LinkedIn, how to build an entire sales presentation, how to do everything you need to start closing 5, 6, or 7-figure deals faster than anybody else. Now, if you're interested, let me know. Go ahead and let us know if you're interested in doing that. If you're interested in learning about this, there's the link. That's great. So I don't even have to bring up the presentation. That's awesome. So go ahead and click that. That'll register you for the masterclass. And here's the cool thing. Once you register for the masterclass, if you're interested, you can trial our software for $1. Okay, so go ahead and click on that. Get into the masterclass. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. And we're going to go deep into how do you close 5, 6, and 7-figure deals. And of course, how do you use a software and a system to start filling up your pipeline to do that? Okay, so if you guys are interested, go ahead and pull out your mobile, click on that right now, get that QR code, sign up for the masterclass today, and I cannot wait to see you guys there. So Bernardo, hopefully I stayed under my time limit there. Hopefully this has been helpful for people, and hopefully everybody's enjoying it. Oh, you're muted there, bud.
Yeah, sorry, man. I thank you so much, Stefan. That was great. I want to make sure that we give the opportunity to ask some additional questions, okay? Because I'm sure there's quite a few people still online that will have questions. Now, a lot of you that are on Zoom or watching on Facebook, now's the time to ask those questions. Now, look, it's obviously very clear that Jeff is a systems guy, and but I mean, look at it. I mean, I don't know how many of you are using LinkedIn. First of all, I'd like to know how many of you using LinkedIn, to really generate leads. And obviously, listen, he's put it out there. You've got to go through a process of steps of connecting with people, sending messages. So to have a system that literally automizes it all, and obviously, again, someone that is a marketer that has all the tools, I think is absolutely fascinating. How long did it take you to create something like this, Jeff?
Oh man, well, it's been years in the making. So I started using LinkedIn 10 years ago, and doing it all manually. And we were using spreadsheets and copy and paste and all of that sort of stuff. So it was a lot of work back then. And obviously the tools have developed, and we've been building on that ever since then. And now we only scratch the surface, right? We can do advanced campaigns where we pull in their email address, we email them, we pull in their phone, we text them. There's all sorts of other stuff we can do now.
So what do you think is one of the things that with the customers that you're working at the moment, what kind of businesses is this system generating for them? What does it take long to set up to implement?
It doesn't take long to set up. The longest part is actually getting on the phone calls and following up with people to close the sale, right? And that's just any sale. So we've had clients that have literally told us, hey, can we throttle it back? We're getting too many leads right now. We're having too many conversations and I don't have time to keep up with them. And these are people some people are raising money, right? They're raising $50 million, $100 million. And so it takes a lot of conversations to start getting checks, as you know, right? It takes a lot of time to get somebody to write a check. So you have to set the system in the first place. And if you don't start building out your calendar and sales pipeline or your investor pipeline, that it's going to take a long time to get that money in the door. So we use it for that. We use it for coaches, for authors, for consultants. We've used it for plumbers, right? So plumbers that are doing commercial projects and they want to go after that, or financial advisors, we showed that one. And so it's across the board, the different types. One example is a gentleman who only works with $10 million plus net worth people and sells them retirement plan packages. And so this solution put 20 to 30 people in a room for him, and he ended up closing really big deals out of that, right? So this strategy in and of itself is worth its weight in gold, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely is. And within obviously what you do, Jeff, I think kind of an important aspect to well, at least for me, is there's a team behind you, and you do really provide a full package when it comes down to marketing. This is just simply one of the tools that you have that you're helping your customers with. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, we can build an entire marketing strategy. I have a public company up in Canada that I'm their fractional CMO for. And so we're building out an entire marketing campaign for them. And this is everything from PR and media to trade shows and exhibits, and of course, paid advertising and building entire CRMs, and you name it. But yeah, I have an incredible team behind me that implements a lot of this stuff. The goal is to take my crazy ideas of what we can do for marketing and then have the team behind us just build everything out.
Cool. And I love a lot of the new technology, not new technology, a lot of the technology or platforms that you're using that, can generate multiple leads. I think kind of what I was sharing is a lot of things that you've been doing for us, for example, is simply finding ways where you're avoiding spending a lot of money and then using clients and customers that are coming to you for encouraging them to share it with their tribes and communities. And I mean, I've seen results with some of the campaigns that we've been doing together, where we've been getting 30% of the people that are connecting through us at least are coming in simply from people that are already registering to the event. So I found that fascinating.
Yeah, there's just so much we can do. And really it comes down to what's the first strategy you want to implement. I think too many people try and do too many things all at once and none of them become effective. So that's why I really wanted to focus on just this one strategy. How do you sell high ticket getting leads from LinkedIn? Because if you try to do, okay, I want to do a LinkedIn, I want to do cold email, I want to do trade shows, I want to do funnels, I want to do paid advertising, like it gets to be too much. And so unless you have a full team behind you, you're not going to be able to implement it all.
Cool. I've just got one more question, a couple of questions here. Open an account 2010 went completely blank after one update. Changed a few later and I've never added anything back in. Well, obviously that's not the best move, is it?
Well, we got to fix that. Yep. You want to fix that for sure. Get back on LinkedIn because it's definitely a great tool.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, Jeff, well, listen, thank you so much. I'm just going to, when you leave, I'm going to share the link once again for anyone that wants to connect with you. Jeff, thank you so much for sharing so much amazing expertise.
Thank you, Bernardo. I really appreciate the opportunity. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys. So listen, if you just, I don't know, tuned in now or for whatever reason, you can't actually, or didn't have a chance to scan the link, there it is. As Jeff says, from as little as $1, you can you can test the platform that he's got. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I've generated lots of leads through LinkedIn over the years. I remember my first expo, we actually generated, I think, 40-50% of all the first speakers for the first expo was done through LinkedIn. So we're very excited about that. So we're going to be back in a minute. I'm going to be announcing my new my next guest, and well, I know he's already there. Ken, I just want to make sure that you've sent us the presentation if you have one. It's in a PDF ideally, and we'll be able to upload it. So what we're going to be doing now is just a very quick commercial, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
The Best You Expo has a history of connecting inspirational speakers, leaders, with those looking at becoming the best version of themselves. Previous speakers like Dave Asprey, Jim Quick, Marissa Peer, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Brian Rose, Paul McKenna, Barbara De Angelis, Marie Diamond, Dr. John DeMartini, Baroness Michelle Monk, and many more. The Best You Expo has promoted over 1,000 speakers and has been attended by over 100,000 people. International events have been held in the UK and in California, and the Best You Expo will be coming back in 2024 to Las Vegas, bigger, bolder. The Best You Expo will also be streaming on the Best You TV, and this event is for anyone and everyone that wants to commit, reach, and inspire. So act now. Get involved. For more information, go to www.thebestyouexpo.com.
What is life?
The Best You is leading the way in the industry of personal and professional growth. Through our magazine, expos, e-learning, TV, club, and awards, The Best You's objective is to help people achieve their dreams, to do more, to be more, to live a life without limits. Join us if you believe in helping and inspiring others, in changing the world, in making it a more just and fair place through education and inspiration. Our goal: everyone, everywhere, now. If you are interested in making a difference, working, partnering, volunteering, supporting, or even licensing The Best You, let's talk. Let's work together and make the world a better place.
So I'm very interested in knowing where you're connecting from today. So please share it on Zoom. Where are you connecting from? Where in the world? We have people from all over. We've had over 600 people pre-register for this event. Not everyone's shown up because, hey, that's life. But for some of you that are basically going to be here throughout the 3 days and people that are connected, there's opportunities for you to win all sorts of amazing prizes and gifts that a lot of the speakers are giving, and Ken's one of them. So if you're here watching Ken and listening to Ken and some of the other speakers, there's freebies that you're going to receive. We're going to pick one winner. And we, in particular, are giving, for any of you that are actually ready to register, I mean, you share this so people can watch day 2 and day 3. If you're sharing it, well, we're giving free VIP tickets. We're giving the recordings of the summit. We're also sharing the recordings of the expos. There's all sorts of opportunities for you to win by simply sharing it. But I'd love to know where you're from. And apart from that, I'm going to ask someone in my team to share a very quick survey that will allow us to know what you're interested in. What do you do? Who are you? Are you a speaker? Are you an author? Are you a coach? So we're going to put that quick survey there. It's just going to take a few minutes. If you're so kind to fill it in, that would really help. And it just gives us a little bit more understanding. There's more questions that I've got for you tomorrow because we're interested in finding partners and people that want to work with us, people that might be interested in well, listen, becoming part of the Best You Expo. And I'm talking about, hey, maybe they want to take the Best You Expo to their city or town around the world. Maybe you're interested in exploring a very serious partnership where you could run your event within our event, within the Best You Expo. There's some very exciting things I'm going to be announcing There's some very exciting things I'm going to be announcing tomorrow. And what I'm going to be announcing is basically the fact that the Best You Expo in Las Vegas, we're really bringing in new technology. We're bringing a lot. We're changing the way that we're presenting this event so we can really reach millions of people around the world. I've always said this. A lot of the times it isn't necessarily about the people that attend or the people that are actually in the room. It's who is going to be watching these talks in months and years from now. It's like, well, it happens on TED Talks. You have a very small audience, but it's seen by hundreds of thousands of people around the world. That's our objective. Every single recording, every single expo is available on the Best You Online, and it's also available on the Best You TV. But moving forward, what we're planning on doing is streaming every single room. And through AI, we're going to be doing simultaneous translation in 7 languages. It's going to be in English, obviously. It's going to be in Spanish. It's going to be in Portuguese, French, German, in Mandarin. And I think we're also looking at Arabic. So there's at least 7 or 8 languages, and we're very excited to do that, which means that if you're a speaker at one of our events moving forward, people from all over the world will be able to see it, because that's what we want to do. We want to open it up to all over the world. So we're very excited about that. I'm going to bring Ken in just ahead of time. I know he sent me some slides, but I'm going to bring him in quickly. I'm going to read his bio, and then I'll bring him in, and then we're going to have a quick chat, because Ken is a great friend and he's a great guy. So Ken Rochon is an accomplished entrepreneur with over 30 years with Absolute Entertainment. Published author of 10 books, including Become the Perfect Networker, Succeeding, One Connection, A Time Global Fusion. He's a DJ. He's a founder of Perfect World Network, Perfect Networker, photographer, world traveler, and the recipient of America's Most Influential Business Connector of 2010. Of Ken's 10 books, 2 of them are related to world topics. Becoming the Perfect Networker teaches us all about the mindset and behaviors essential to successful networkers. Making friends around the world promotes acceptance and global thinking for children, while the Centurial World Traveler encourages people to travel and experience the world before it becomes too late due to age or ill health. As president of Perfect Publishing, Ken offers aspiring and talented authors the amazing opportunity of having their work published and recognized publicly. He goes to great lengths supporting writers from the first draft to the final manuscript and into the final printing stage. Traveling across the US and over 101 countries to attend various speaking, public engagements, and business networking opportunities, he also finds time to indulge on his passion of photography, an art form that he majestically captures, and I can vouch for that. So let me bring him in, Mr. Ken. How are you? How are you, brother?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, Bernardo?
I'm doing great, and as you can see, he's got this fantastic voice, Ken. I mean, you can hear him, you can listen to him all day. So, Ken, I first of all wanted to thank you so much for being here. I wanted to thank you for being my friend. I wanted to thank you for all the great work that you do, not only with loads of friends and lots of people with your, and all the events that you're at with your Keep Smiling Foundation, but also kind of like, how much you helped me to publish my book in a very quick turnaround. I remember from us speaking, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was going to use a publisher, I was going to self-publish. And I remember speaking to you, and I think we just literally kind of agreed the deal very quickly. And you made the whole process so simple for me. So I'm extremely grateful. And as you taught me, and I don't normally do that myself, here it is. It's the hardcover. So there it is. You see it, okay?
Oops, there we go. You have to get used to it. You go everywhere, even on my banner.
Yes. And I'm I'm very excited with the final product. I thought it came out really good. Sorry, with the green screen, it's a bit challenging.
In Espanol too.
En español también, un hombre en evolución. Absolutely. So, Ken, tell us a little. I know you're gonna do your presentation now, but share a little bit about your experience, kind of with us getting the book together and all the great work that you do with so many great people.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Bernardo, because allowing me to do your book, to me, it's like being chosen as a godfather. Because if you think about it, if you're giving the opportunity of someone to do your book and it's a doctor, they just say, okay, let's deliver the baby and on we go. But when you allow a marketer and someone who believes in your message to carry that message ongoing, it is kind of a Godfather experience. Your book is important to me. Your message is important to me. But most importantly, your mission is. And so when you allow me to share your message, amplify your goodness, it just makes the world a better place. And I'm so grateful that I got that opportunity. So thank you.
No, thank you, man. And I'm going to share the link there. It's obviously on Amazon. It's on Kindle. And yes, it is also in Spanish. So there's the link. If you guys want to call a man evolving, you can find it on Amazon. There's no science there. But Ken, listen, thank you so much. So what are you going to be talking about here today?
I am going to be talking about your book impacting the world. And a lot of people think that's a cliche. And it certainly could be, because anyone can say it, but does it really happen? And it doesn't happen unless you adopt a relentless mindset of making sure your book is seen in every opportunity, that every single day you are showing that book off like it's your baby, like it's your proud son or proud daughter. And so to leave a legacy is one thing. To do a bucket list of checking off you did a book is another thing. But to have an impact in the world, it means you're actually carrying your book around. So I'm glad you showed it off to the world that you're carrying it around. But if anyone's read the amazing book Tipping Point or Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, they're both books that actually show why phenomenon's happening. It's no secret that the Beatles are considered one of the top groups of all time, but they didn't get that by just playing around a little bit. They actually practiced and played in Hamburg, Germany for 15 hours a day and became so proficient, and they had put their 10,000 hours into playing. It was no doubt there's going to be a tipping point. So I look at every book as it's just a matter of time before it tips. And it's a patience and persistence process. And I do love those two. I do love those two characteristics. If I can meet an author like yourself that cares about a message like being the best you, and you're going to never give up on that message, you're going to be relentless and patient and persistent in making sure that message hits the world, what happens is your mission happens. The people that receive your mission become part of the tipping point. But most of all, the world and everyone win. Everyone gets better when a tipping point happens for good. So that is the mission of creating an impact in the world. The way it's done is turning probably the opposite numbers around. Most people put 99% of their time into making a book. And that's understandable. If you don't have a book, there's nothing to market. But they leave so little time and so little resources and so little money into having the book impact the world. It's not a surprise that the book doesn't do much. So Bernardo, I think you've heard before, there's a lot of authors that they just don't have the impact they want, and so they don't do another book. And so we changed that. And you've done several books, like 4 or 5 books. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, 5. This was a very, it was a very personal book. It was very different to everything I've written before, and it was one of those books. Oh my God, shall I publish it or not? Because it really is all about being vulnerable and expressing love and talking about love, which isn't necessarily something that I would have shared. But I felt the importance, and for me it was therapy. It really helped me kind of, there's a healing process in writing a book, especially when it's so personal. But I just believe that it is very sad that many people, have so many great stories to share and they choose not to. And because maybe, I don't know, maybe they just feel it's too difficult. It's impossible. They're more worried about, is it going to be a bestseller? Is it going to, is it going to flop? But it doesn't really matter. And because it doesn't matter at all. And that's kind of what I love about you is that, and that's what I've been saying these days, that everyone that's here is because I think, they're the best, one of the best in the industry. What I love about you is you take it so personal. Every single author that you have promoted and worked with, and every book that you published for them, you made it such a personal process, so personal that it's just a very warm, fuzzy feeling. So I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you. And Bernardo, if you look at it, that it's my responsibility that if you have a failure, that I have probably prevented you from wanting to do it again. So the last thing I'd want an author to feel is this didn't work, or this didn't matter, or I wasn't the worthy one, or I wasn't the one. I love that question. If not me, who?
Yeah, exactly.
If not me, who? And when an author steps into their power of vulnerably, and by the way, bravo on your book, and also of sharing yourself, because I believe the people who've read the book have reached out to you and had a different relationship and a different respect for you. Is that correct?
Yes, I think so. And, kind of, it's just one of those things. Obviously, they get to know me or see a different side to me. And And yeah, I was very happy with that. So yes, thank you.
Well, I think the magic side of having your book done is that you don't have to brag. You don't have to worry about inspiring people. If you share your story and you pour your heart into it, the reader gets to enjoy it and digest it on their own time, and they get to be moved by you. And I think the two things that cause people to buy from you and buy you is how inspired they are by you, and then doing a Google search and seeing that the world says that you're the real deal, that you
Yeah.
are safe, that you are value. And I think that being the best you is actually causing yourself to step into that power. Anyone that's being the best you, I think, needs to be on stages. I think they need to do a book. They need to have a podcast, and they need to find out and surprise themselves how powerful they are. I mean, every single year I do this, I look back a year and I say, I can't believe a year ago that I was thinking that this was big, and this is now a new small. Isn't that crazy? When you're being the best you, you're actually realizing how each time you make a stride, that was not something to be afraid of.
Yeah, it always happens. You know, those moments you look back at it and it wasn't that scary. So no, listen, thank you so much. Just tell us how you want us to display the slides.
I did send a PDF. I'm not sure if
Yes, we got them here. So just give us a.
We are ready for the presentation.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. So I am Ken Rochon, and my friends call me Dr. Smiley. So when you reach out to me, I hope you put a doctor with a smiley face. So next slide, please. So as I was just talking with Bernardo, if you make a book, that's a bucket list. And bravo to you, because a lot of people, 99 out of 100 people that say they're going to do a book, do not do a book. So I do applaud you for getting a book done. However, to impact the world with your book is basically saying, I am committed to my book as if it was my child, as if it was my legacy, as if it's the most important thing and most important message I can bring to the world. So always have your book with you, as Bernardo showed, have in your car, have in your briefcase, always have copies to give to influencers. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Next slide. So as you may have heard from Bernardo, either I sent an old bio, but I have written 44 books. My son, who is 10 years old, he's 9. He turns 10 next week. And he is going to be the recipient of his 10th book on his birthday. And he inspired me to actually write more books per year so I could catch up to him and have a book a year. Thank God I'm not 100 years old. Being a celebrity photographer is really something I'm passionate about, because I get to capture the soul and the beauty and the spirit of the speakers I meet, the authors I meet, the influencers, basically people that I believe are bringing smiles to the world. And I have published well over 400 books, traveled to over 104 countries. And the next thing I'd like to talk about is the impact my mom had on causing me to be a publisher. Next slide, please. So my mother was diagnosed with dementia in 2005. I had been a DJ for over 30 years, and I decided, since she was my biggest fan, that I would make sure that I returned the gift of what she had given me, which is unconditional love, unconditional believing that anything's possible. And the harder I failed, the more she said, you can do this. So if you don't have a cheerleader like that, you don't step into your power, you don't become a bigger version of yourself, and you certainly or have the excuse of being held back. So I gave 3 years of my life to be a caregiver, and that was the best gift I gave myself, because I was able to really get connected to a better version of myself. I created a purpose-driven life. I asked for guidance on how I could make a bigger difference while I was on this planet. And what I came up with was, I really wanted to help people download their story from their heart and their mind in a way that would inspire people and even inspire themselves to take bigger steps and bigger actions to make the world a better place. And I learned through my marketing systems that the distinction between really any business that succeeds, and publishing is no different, is that the more you're able to market what you believe in, i.e. a book or an author or the message, the more that book has a chance of actually having an impact. So this is really going to be a story that I hope you are able to get great notes, reach out to me, and learn how you can create the type of campaign that will cause you to win. This slide here is a commitment I made to my son that every year he was alive, every birthday, I would give him a book. And so of the 40 books, 9 of the books are to my son. And if anyone wants any book that's shown in this presentation, there is going to be a way of reaching out to me. But the number I'll make sure you at least have live is 202-701-0911. And any book here, if you want any of them or all of them, just name them, all of them, and I will send them to you as ebooks. Next slide. So this is a picture of my son. Last year, he sent his book, Kenny's Favorite Places in America, to President Biden at the White House. And he is showing that he received a letter last August thanking him for the book and his patriotism. So I was a very proud daddy that day. I think that goes into one of his biggest moments in his life. I asked him last week, I said, Kenny, you're about to turn 10 years old. Can you think of some of the biggest moments of your life? And his first biggest moment was that he got $1,000 gift card from Amazon for selling $8,500 worth of popcorn in the Boy Scouts. That was his number one proud moment and memorable moment in his life. And so his second, though, was receiving a letter from President Biden congratulating him for his 8th book about how proud he is to be an American and all the beautiful places there are to visit in America. The book actually caused him, and this is going to be one of the things I talk about with regard to doing a book, is he came up with about 30 some places that were great places to visit in America based on Google. And I say, well, Kenny, you can't actually tell people that these are the best places to go to unless you've been to them. So my rule with my son is that anytime he does a book, he must experience 50% of it at a mastery level. So we went to half of the places that are listed in the book, and he really got to have legitimate pride for his country. And he is born on June 14th, which is Flag Day. So it's appropriate, I thought, that one of his first 10 books would be about our great country. On the left side there, it's a flyer, and we have an updated flyer we can send you, which include all 10 of his books. And his newest book, which comes out next week, is our first AI book. It is a book that we created only graphically through artificial intelligence. And I'll just give you if you can imagine my son and I holding hands as we go through the gates of a zoo, and we're entering the zoo, and the first cage we see is a sloth. And my son picked the sloth as the first animal he wanted to see in the book. And so we made that the AI experience. And the sloth has a little tear. And the tear embodies the fact that the sloth is unhappy that he's captured, that he's behind bars, that his whole life is just really being a spectacle and having a very closed, confined living quarters. And my son, being empathetic, is sad too. And he feels the sadness and looks down, and he comes across some glasses, and these glasses are like John Lennon glasses. They're really big, and they kind of have a rainbow feel to them. And he puts the glasses on, and when he puts the glasses on, they change the experience of what he sees in the animals. The animals come to life, and they show their spiritual freedom in the coloration. And in the back of the book, Kenny gets to share his commitment and his feelings about animal cruelty and animal captivity. And I just am so proud of him because he came up with this reason for doing the book. And every single year he does a book, I'm blown away that he takes a new step. His first book was a joke book where he simply looked up on Google jokes. If they made him laugh, he put the jokes in the book. He sold about 250 of those books, got a tremendous amount of 5-star reviews. And that book taught him to move from being an introvert to an extrovert. So a book can change your life if you put your heart into it. This boy did not want to be recorded. He did not want his photo taken, didn't want his video taken. And if you send an email to ken@perfectpublishing.com, you can receive this new book called Kenny's Adventures at the Zoo. But I want to just share the evolution of what it is to do a book, because Kenny couldn't have done this zoo book and had this imagination if he hadn't had books that he'd done before that had succeeded. So his first book changed his personality from being an introvert to being, quite frankly, a ham. He told his first joke on a podcast, and he said, the podcaster said, well, tell me a joke from your book. And so he said, what did the father buffalo say to his son when he was going to school? And the podcaster said, I don't know. What? He says, bye, son. And when he said that, the podcaster let out a big laugh and said, well, tell me another. And my son could not believe that he said something funny. And so he said another one. And then he did another podcast. And all of a sudden I started having him ask me when I was on a podcast, hey, is this a podcast I can be on too? So the biggest aspect, I think, of having you commit and complete a book is that you will become a master of the topic. You will also step into a new identity. So this is the fruits of actually doing a book. We have 3 different aspects, or phases, I should say, of getting a book done. The first one is to get the book done so you have something you can market. The second phase is to look at how we can make the book better with you and forgive all the imperfections, because there's no such thing as a perfect book. And then the third phase is turn it into mastery level, where you maybe have a hardback book. And so my son has seen this evolution by allowing himself to just get a book out there, and he'll find mistakes. And by the way, my favorite check to write to my son, or cash to give to my son, is he reads my books and he reads his books and he says, Daddy, I found a mistake in this book. And so I say, okay, well, email me the mistake and I will be happy to give you $1 per mistake. And, you know, you can't have a better editor than someone that's going to be incentivized by finding every mistake and receiving $1. And so the newest book, he's gone from Googling, which he did not know how to do. He did not know at age 6 how to Google anything. And now he's proficient with Googling. And then he started learning how to Google trivia, Google science facts, etc. And this book that's on the far bottom right is called Kenny's Favorite Phobias to Conquer. And I will say this book holds a very special place in my heart because it discusses something that most adults haven't even dealt with or overcome, and that's the fear of failure or the fear of success. So you see he's Captain Courage right there. That's what the CC stands for. And he takes on 20 different phobias with this I won't call him an alien, but this person from outer space that comes to aid him and change him into Captain Courage. So his evolution of his books mimic his evolution of him becoming a leader, becoming really a contributor to society at a very early age. And so I'm very proud of him, as you can tell, but I just can't wait to see what his next book's going to be. And he's the one who comes to me and says, hey, Daddy, I have a new idea for a book. So please do not think that he's been pressured to do any books. If he's ever been pressured to do a book, it might have been maybe the first book. But after that, he told me that he loved doing it. And my favorite thing he said on stage was a couple years ago in Philadelphia at an author and arts expo. He said, you know, when the pandemic happened, my dad didn't have anything to do. So I let him publish my book. And so that was another one of my favorite moments, is hearing him say that he was allowing me to support him in publishing his book. And he's learned that every single time he does a book, it's smart for him to carry him around and to give acknowledgments to those he cares about. He changes his book by putting people that mean a lot to him in the front of his book to acknowledge that they make him happy and that they inspire him. Next slide, please. So we care so much about smiles. I carry these smile cards around, and I have a brother. His name is Barry Shore. He gave me this card 7 years into my journey after my mom had passed. And we have successfully given this card out to over 4 million people. And if you would like to be in a smile book, you have the number and the email. You can reach out to us. We will be happy to send you cards. We will be happy to support you. Let us know what state and city you're in. We do this amazing book tour. The reason our books impact the world, the reason your book will impact the world, is because we came up with that 1% system that actually is 99% of the resources. So if you think about what I said earlier, 99% of your energy goes into making a book, 1% goes into having the book impact the world. that is going to be a failure every single time. You put all your energy into really keeping it a secret. And if you think about it, if you put 99% of your energy into, for instance, having a baby and no energy into actually raising a child, you would find that that child would not turn into really much of an adult or much of a leader or much of a contributor to society. So what we use as an analogy is just like when you first have a baby, 99% of your energy is into raising your baby. Well, 99% of your energy is to letting the world know that your book exists. 99% of the energy is to giving your book away free if you need to. Give your book away as an ebook. Give your book away as an audible. Whatever you need to do to have your book land and create a tipping point. The thing that you need to get out of your mind is your book is not a $20 commodity. Your book is a calling card. Your book is an expensive, impressive, mind-blowing business card. It is the type of medium that when you give it to someone and they accept it, they say, wow, everyone else is giving me business cards or digital cards. You gave me something I can actually learn about you. I can experience who you are. I can learn your story. I can be moved by your inspirational journey. And when they do that, you are just so many steps ahead of all the other people that may be biting for their attention. So the biggest thing you can do with a book is share your story in the most inspiring way you can so that they can actually fall in love with the fact that you are a person that really cares about making a difference in what you do. Next slide, please. This is the 1% that we recommend shifting the 99% to that 1%. Imagine instead of 99% of your energy going into making the book, you consider that same amount of time. Let's say it's just for fun. Let's say it's 30 hours you spent making a book. And before that was 99% of your energy. Okay. This time we're saying that you still spend 30 hours, same 30 hours. You don't cheat the book. You don't lower the time, but it becomes only 1% of the entire process of having you impact the world. I just want to restate this again. If you put 30 hours into making your book, and that's 99% of your energy, and you only have 1% of your energy resources to make a difference in the world, it's just not going to do it. But if you consider your book, making your book, and having your book be printed, and all the editing, all the formatting, all 30 hours be only 1% of the process, then you have the right formula for the book impacting the world. You must put 99% into making your book have impact in the world. And you can do it in a lot of creative ways. One of the ways I suggest is think about joining a marketing company that knows how to do a book tour. We do 50 city book tours a year, every 2 years. So we do 25 cities a year, and we go around the world as much as we possibly can. And we create adventure, we create experiences that cause people that are following you to really say, wow, you are playing big. You are doing huge things with your book. I have to check out your book. I have to see who you are, who you're becoming. We have an experience coming up next week, and we have another one in September at Times Square. And we are deeming this, we're making a coffee table book from this experience called 100 Authors, 100 Books, Times Square. And Bernardo's book has already been at Times Square. We've had just some of the biggest and best heart-centered leaders share their books in Times Square. And the other thing I want you to look about variables is if you only had 1% as your impact, that variable would be so small that you could expect that the impact would be very small. When you have that gigantic 99% of your energy is that you're going to spend on sharing the book, distributing the book, you can see why that impact would be so big. So on the bottom level there, it shows the 1% as content. So without content, there is just noise. But without distribution, it's a secret. So you must marry the two together, but you must marry them together proportionally. The content is just the baby. The distribution is the time and the nurturing and the care of raising and sharing that child, that book with the world. It is your legacy, and you should embrace it, and you should allow yourself to improve it. If you see things that could make your book better, reach back out to the publisher and say, I see some things, or I've grown, or I've had some new enlightenment that I'd like to add to the book. Another way to add a lot more impact is to have influencers that are part of the book. You can have influencers share testimonials. You can have influencers be the forward on the book. If your network is gigantic, I highly recommend that you look at who would resonate with your message the most and ask them if they would do the forward to your book. I am amazed how few people exercise this simple ask of saying to someone that's a mentor, someone that you admire, I really am blown away, or I'm really inspired by who you are. May I send you my manuscript, and would you consider writing the forward to the book? Now, think about this from the person who's receiving this. First of all, you're acknowledging them. Secondly, they feel very special. They feel that they've made a difference in the world, and they've made a difference to you. So they certainly would love to say yes. And when your message and your manuscript reaches them and they actually enjoy it, they are not only more than happy to do the forward for you, but they're going to help market the book for you, and they're going to help connect you to other opportunities. Another area is the back cover. A lot of people make mistakes in writing about how great the book is or how great they are, and you want to minimize that message on the back. You want to maximize how that book will make a difference for the reader. The more the book makes a difference for the reader, the more people are going to make that investment and support your book. The other area in the back of the book is 3 testimonials from super influential people that they can say, well, if so-and-so likes this book, I have to try it out. I have to check it out. But the part that I want to emphasize at this point is that the impact you make in the world with your book is really you. You should not be trying to sell a $20 book. You should be making sure these books land in the hands of people that are influencers, that are decision makers, that make you a superstar, that decide they want to hire you as a speaker or as a coach or as a consultant, advisor. This is where I think the book is misunderstood the most, is that when you have an influencer in front of you and you're making a decision of whether they're going to buy the book or not, make that decision easy. Say, I'd like to gift you this book, and I hope it makes a difference for you. And could I get your number and follow up with you and perhaps have you on my podcast? And that leads to one more really great way to impact the world with your book is have other authors on your podcast, have other speakers on your podcast, and trade books with them. When you're trading books with them, you become a fan of theirs and you give them reviews and vice versa. So these are just some very easy ways that you can add a lot of impact to your book. The last way I'll say before we move to the next slide is that the acknowledgement section. You have all these amazing people you've met in your life, and I have seen acknowledgement sections either omitted or downplayed to really more of a dedication section. And I think about and I pray about how many people have caused me to be who I am today, who I am becoming, who are supporting me, who believe in me. And I just start writing names down, and I keep a list that is ongoing on a Word doc. And when the next book's about to come out, presto, I copy paste that, send it over to my formatting team, and that becomes my new acknowledgement section. I divide my acknowledgement section into first the people who have just been as unconditional as I could ask them to be. The second group are the people that are my inner circle. The third group are the people that are my team, that I can count on, that caused the book to happen. And my fourth are the friends. They're all the people that, whether they buy the book or not, I just really appreciate that they inspire me to keep playing bigger. So that is a wonderful way to add more girth, more value, more connection, more impact to your book. Next slide, please. So these are 2 books that we have created. One is roughly 10 years old, and it actually goes over what our website shows, perfectpublishing.com. It's how to make a book. And the thing that's interesting about make a book, move a book, book a sale is that each one of those are 99% won games. In other words, 99% of people that say they're going to make a book, they don't make a book. And as Bernardo had alluded to earlier in this talk, people don't make a book because maybe they don't know what to do. They may be in fear. They may not think that they're worthy. They don't believe they're the one to talk about this topic. And so I will just say, unless you have a coach, unless you have structure and a game plan to complete it, it really is difficult. I will confess that if it wasn't for my mom passing and me making a commitment to her on her dying, on her deathbed, and saying, I commit that within 1 year of your passing, I will have my first book out, then I wouldn't have done it. I saw my grandmother and my uncle do books when I was roughly 12 years old, and I idolized them. And I said, you know what? Someday I'm going to be an author because authors are important. And some 30 years passed, and I said it over and over again, but I never did it. But if you have a coach and you have someone that holds you accountable, and you have someone that teaches you the hacks, the structures, the leveraging, a lot of things I'm telling you today, you will get a book done, and you'll get a book done you're proud of. My first book, Becoming the Perfect Networker, caused me to become the perfect networker. I don't think I was. A lot of people gave me that nickname, but when I wrote the book, I actually shifted my identity. I shifted the way I networked. I shifted the way I contributed to other people, because that book called me to do that. So moving a book is the part I was talking about that causes the biggest impact. A lot of people think they're going to get rich making a book, and the same game of 991. So 99% of people that make a book, they do not move a book. And the average sales, if you Google this, are somewhere between 38 and about 148. There's some deviated numbers, but I assure you they're not impressive. They certainly will not make you rich. Do not make a book to think you're going to be rich, or that you're going to be very rich from making a book. There are just too many books out there, and there are too many people that won't know that your book exists, and it is a $20 purchase. The previous speaker, he brought up, why not do a sale that's a larger sale, like $5,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. When you do bigger sales, you, one, don't have to work as hard. You focus more on value, and you attract the right type of clients to work with. So a book is a calling card. When you do a book and you have the authority, you edge yourself out over all the other competitors, given that they don't have a book. So if someone's looking at 5 people to do business with, and one person has a book, and they give that book to that prospect, that decision maker, you've probably increased your chance of being the winner of that business by 20 or 30%. Obviously, if your book has tons of reviews and lots of clients that are saying, because this book is a book that has value, and because it has the secret sauce, it has the solutions to problems that I utilize to make my life better, I choose you. I want to work with you. So have the book cause bigger conversations. And again, if you meet someone that's really an influencer, someone you want to work with, someone you want to know, I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes when you land that book in their hands and you have it personalized to them. I give away my book. I give away probably about 800 books a year. Anytime I go to a networking event, I give away a book as the door prize. Whenever I meet a speaker at an event, I bring purposely as many books as I can, different books. So if someone likes travel, I give them my travel book. If someone likes humor, I give them my no-nonsense book. If someone has a child, I give them one of my son's books, etc. The book on the right is really well, actually, let's go back to the last one, book a sale. So when you give a book to someone, you are not looking to make a sale of the book. You're looking to book a sale. So think about how you structure the book so that you are moving through your USPs through your book. So when you have a business, you designed your business to be unique. You designed your business that if people did this, this, and this, or wanted this, this, and this, you were the only one, or one of the only ones that could provide that. Your book tells that story. And what's so interesting about it is the people that are endorsing the book are typically your clients. So if they're endorsing your book, they're actually selling you. They're becoming ambassadors to you. So let's pretend that you had to invest $20,000 or $30,000 into making a book, but your product or service was, let's say, $10,000. If you booked 3 sales, 4 sales, you're already ahead of the game just by having a book. And now imagine that your book elevates your demand and elevates your value, and your $10,000 now becomes $15,000 or becomes $20,000. I can tell you personally that all my prices have probably quadrupled because the book has shown that I am the person that will do these unique selling propositions better than anyone else. And because that's the case, I'm able to be a person in demand. I'm a person that has searchability, social proof, and enough clients that do video testimonials that they know it's going to happen for them. So moving to the book on the right, perfect publishing, having your book impact the world, that takes the conversation to a whole new level, which is mainly what this presentation is about. So both these books are available as ebooks. And as promised, anything I show in this presentation is yours for the asking. Next slide, please. This is my passion project, and all the books I have done before have reached 10,000, 20,000, maybe 40 or 50,000 people. This particular book is the book that I encourage you, if you only get one book out of this entire presentation, get Dose of Hope. Dose of Hope, we are anticipating, will reach millions, potentially 20 million people. And it's something I even pinch myself. I can't believe that number could be real, but I want to tell you why that number is real. It's something that I referred to earlier called variables. This book has 500 authors, or will have 500 authors in it when the project's complete. Right now, it's over 250 authors. I will brag in a second about who those authors are, but I want to say what Dose of Hope is. So Dose of Hope is a project that came out of the pandemic. It is a project that I believe needed to happen, one that was sourced through my prayer of my own uncertainty. I was going through the pandemic wondering, what the gifts were for having some 380 events cancel and being really left with the question mark of what am I supposed to do with all this free time? And one of the things that happened out of all this free time is I got to be a better father. I got to be a publisher to my son's first book, which inspired him to do more. But this Dose of Hope, dose stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins that freely are given to you by God when you have hope and when you have love in your heart, when you have faith that it can get better. So it's interesting, but if you have dose happening in your head, you are actually giving the right juice to your cellular level. You're actually giving vitality to your cells. You're giving what your cells need to fight cancer, to have a stronger immune system, to just feel more alive. And so I will say that this project is a gift from God. It's people that I've run into in my life accepting a call from me and saying, yes, I will share my story of how hope got me through the toughest times of my life, or how hope got me through this impossible situation. And hope stands for hold on, pain ends. Hold on, pain ends. And we have 3 series. We have this one, which is more of a TED Talk style, in which the author shares how they created who they are, how they created their purpose, and how that purpose impacts the world. And we have some of the most amazing authors in here. We have Rudy Rudiger from the movie Rudy. We have William Paul Young, who wrote The Shack, Rob Angel, who created Pictionary, and as I said, just hundreds of other impressive authors. And you will get a dose a day if you choose to do one. It takes about 10 minutes to read it. And when you read it, you basically say, wow, if so-and-so can do it, I know I can do it too. And if you think about it, hope is what gets us through anything. There's nothing that you can't overcome if you have hope. So I hope that you reach out to me and just type, I would like to have a dose of hope. And someone asked me, if you have 500 authors and 500 chapters, who would read that many pages? Who would read that many chapters? And I replied to them, well, who would drink 500 glasses of water? Or who would sleep 500 hours? Or who would drive 500 miles? And the point is, everyone will do that if you take it as a dose. And so a dose is 10 minutes a day to start your day off right, with a message of hope, with a message of inspiration. And every single person in here is someone that I would be just all too privileged to have come to my house and break bread with me. They're the most amazing people I've come across in my 14-year journey of my Smile movement and amplifying goodness. Next slide, please. If you know somebody who has a story that is just so inspiring and they have the social proof, meaning they are making a difference in the world, they're genuinely causing good things to happen in the world, this presentation is calling you or the person that you know to contact us. We are looking for 250 remaining authors to complete the project, and you have to qualify to be in the project just by being nominated that you deserve $72,000 gift certificate to reach 20 million people and inspire hope in the world. I believe that this project is one of those projects that moves the needle of humanity actually feeling better, that they can do anything and they can create a better world. Next slide. The power of this slide is that Perfect Publishing has become known as a real educator in how to create a compilation book. Sometimes compilation books are really just a pay-to-play model. It's very transactional, and the host or the publisher is just attracting names of people that can pay. And I just want to say that when you're the host of a book like this, we believe there are 5 pillars that you can actually offer the people that are in your book that really change the game on them not just being a chapter in a book, but them actually having an opportunity to get a lot of business, a lot of abundance, and build a tribe with the other authors. So the first is that we believe that the compilation book should be an education system for each of the authors to learn how to market their book better, how to market their business better through a book, how to network with the book, how to network with the authors better, how to refer the authors because they get to know them through a virtual mastermind or a real mastermind. And then finally, how to use the book to sell the other authors or themselves. So those 5 pillars change the game so much on a very small buy-in, turning into a massive ROI. Imagine having a mastermind of 21 people that learn who you are, learn your commitment, and are able to pass a book to someone and say, read chapter 11 and you'll see the person I'm referring to or the person I think you should connect with. And they read that chapter and they're moved, touched, and inspired so much that they just can't wait to have this conversation and work with the person. So these books have really changed the game for Perfect Publishing. We take the authors to Times Square and they celebrate. They celebrate their book being in the Jumbotron, and it's a 3-day journey where they get to experience the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, Central Park, and we're looking at the United Nations as a new experience. And then we take a train all the way down to DC, and we bring the book into the Library of Congress. So if you think about what I just shared with you, that is adding a lot of social proof, a lot of experience, and making being an author fun. Being an author should not be, I got my book done. Hey, will you buy my book on Amazon? Yay, I'm an Amazon bestseller. And that's the end. And you do a book drop. That is the furthest thing from what I would consider a triumph. I think a triumph is when you go for a tipping point and all of a sudden, magically, after a year or 2 of effort, you look back and you say, wow, I can't believe it. I'm on stages as much as I want to be. I have another book coming out, or I have my 4th book coming out, or I have all these people that have reached out to me and said I made a difference in their life because of this book. And I think the way you need to think of a book is if you were to sell it to everyone you know, you're selling it to the choir. But if you actually have your book show up all the time, everywhere you go, you're going to find that your book becomes a home, and it becomes a voice, and it becomes a magnet for attracting a tribe that is not just a tribe for you, it's a tribe for all the readers. So I implore you, please take your book out in the world and treat it like it's your baby. Treat it like it's your proud son or daughter that you want to show off and you want to have the world see. And the tipping point will definitely happen. It's the most amazing thing when the world starts saying, I've seen this before. I've seen this so many times. I've got to get to know you. Next slide, please. This is the tour at the Library of Congress, and these are the lovely authors that we're able to showcase. And these people, now that they've become friends, it's a whole new experience. Imagine if all of them only did an Amazon bestseller and they said, okay, that's it. But all these authors I'm so proud of, they step out, they tell people what city they're going to be in, they tell what city their book's going to be in. And it's just exciting to meet these type of people that play so big. Next slide, please. Another shots of the inside of the Library of Congress, one of the most beautiful buildings in the United States. And that's another thing. Had I been a publisher and never decided to do book tours, I would have never seen how beautiful this Library of Congress is. And if you Google the Library of Congress, you'll be amazed how many world records it has. It has the largest media collection, the most valuable media, and it is just something I'm so glad I'm so close to. I live in Maryland, so for me to live in Maryland, to never have been in a Library of Congress until I was a publisher, blows me away. Next slide, please. Just shots of the beauty of that gorgeous building. And we do typically accompany this trip with the Times Square experience. Next slide, please. This is my good friend Dave Chemetsky, and he lives in New York. And that is Mr. Vinny, Dr. Vinny, and he has a book called Staying Alive. The reason Dave's so excited is he's wearing his favorite color, and in the back is his book. And I just have to say, this man has been one of my favorite people to work with. He is a person that every single time there's something that we're going to do with Perfect Publishing, no matter where it is. He came out to LA to be at the Best You Expo because Perfect Publishing was going to be there. He got to speak on the stages there, and he just plays so big, and his book is just a calling card, and he does it the right way. So very proud of you, Dave Chemetsky, and thank you for being a guide to us in your hometown of New York. He is making the Times Square experience epic. He picks the best restaurants. He picks the best locations. He helps get the tickets for the Statue of Liberty. I mean, just think about this. You have your book, and you may have never been the Statue of Liberty. I mean, the symbol of freedom, the symbol of our country welcoming all the people that come to it. And you are there with your book getting photographed. And it's just only one more social proof stamp that you're playing big with your book and your message. Next slide, please. And this is the lovely Carissa Nelson, and that is J.R. Spear, both sharing their excitement. And she has a book called The Seed, and it is one of our favorite children's books. It is a beautiful book, just telling the symbolism of a seed planted. And so we're so proud of her. Her next book is coming out in a couple weeks, I believe it is. It's called The Weed. And I won't tell you what the third book is, but it is a trilogy. And she has done so well with this book. We were in airports where she was carrying her book, and people saw the book and said, oh my gosh, this book's amazing. And so there was a delay for one of the planes, and one of the people there said, do you mind if I read your book aloud? And so he read the book, and it was roughly 30 people that gathered around and listened to him read the book, and she ran out of books. And so I said, I told you needed to bring more books. So Carissa, congratulations on the great work you've done in that book. And J.R. Spear, he has an amazing book and many books, but he has a pocket full of profit that he's got coming out as a future book for this year. He's the owner of BLN, Business Leaders Network, and I kid around with him and say the B should not stand for business, it should stand for Book Leaders Network. And he is a big advocate of what it is to book a sale with a book. He is my champion, actually, of taking a book and turning it into a very, very big conversation. So bravo to you, JR, for teaching me that a book is not just a sale. It could be a career. It could be a lifetime of sales. And get together with J.R. Spear at BLN. Next slide. So this is my offer for you. If you text this number and you include a selfie and you have a book you want to show in Times Square, and you want to be in any compilation book, just any part of this presentation that you would like to play bigger, I would love to meet with you. I'd love to hear your inspiring story. I'd love for you to take advantage of nominating someone. Think about how much you'd change someone's life. Someone that's making a difference that did not see this presentation, but they're the most inspiring person you know, and you secretly nominate them. and they are the one that should be in the book, how much their story could make a difference in someone else's life. And I have had people say that when they read that book, that it has reignited them, that it has caused them to say, you know what, I don't have an excuse. This person has it 10 times worse than I do, and they made it through it. I choose to be more powerful. I choose to make it through this. I choose to believe. I choose to have hope. Next slide. And I believe that is the last slide. So we are just about at the time. I wanted to make sure I left some time for questions, and hopefully I have the answers for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ken. That was great.
Thank you, Bernardo.
Very inspiring, very proud. I've heard the story of your book, but of your son, but it's just very, very inspiring. And all the people that you mentioned, Dave Chomsky is such a great guy, and a lot of the authors that you work with, who I understand are very close to you too. So look, there's a couple of questions here because we're a bit tight on time. So, Ken, as you work with authors, what are the most relevant messages that people want to read today, and how do you advise the authors as they get about designing their message?
Okay, so that's two questions. So I think the most relevant message is how to create a life you love more and to step into your power. I think that's a very big message. I think creating more abundance in your life, more balance in your life, these are any author that is experiencing this, I should say any leader that's experiencing this and is able to author that, they will enrich others and it will enrich them. So everyone wins.
Okay. Ken, how do you decide what your message should be and the frame so people will want to read it and have an impact in their lives?
Well, I think the first message you should do is a message that would monetize your life and also give value to others. That's the first one I would do. The second message, I would consider looking at your wisdom, your epiphanies, what has made your life better, and share your life story. I think that's an important thing to do for yourself and for the people you love.
Okay, so we've shared your email. I believe it's ken@perfectpublishing.com. Is that correct?
I couldn't have said it better.
Okay, great. There's the email again. And why don't you read out your phone number? Because a couple of people have asked for it. I know it was on a slide, but what's your phone number again, Ken?
202-701-0911.
Okay, and we'll say that one more time.
202-701-0911.
Okay, perfect. Great. Well, comments, everyone, because we're getting a lot of thank yous from a lot of people. Someone's saying from Bernardo, could you please put the link for your book again? Oh, okay, I can do that. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And by the way, please remember that when you like a book, it means the world to an author when they get a review. So your review helps you stand out. And by the way, every time you give a review, you are in essence becoming a friend with the author too. So it's a very good idea. Yeah,
thank you. That's always important. I kind of like. I was doing a book read. It was that Secret Knock. I was giving books away and had a lot of people come up and ask for the book. And I remember, they're piled, and sometimes people are shy. They came and grabbed the book and ran. And I said, no. You can't run away with a book. At least you've got to speak to me. I need to find out if this book is for you. And then, kind of one thing that you always want, good or bad. But I always say the same thing. Listen, please, if you like the book, please, write a lovely review. And this is for every author. Every book that you read, you should go and leave a review. But I always used to add as well, but if you didn't like the book, please don't tell anyone. So, that's right. Nice. Yeah. If you love the book, please write a beautiful review. If you don't like it, please don't tell anyone.
Well, if you don't like a book, you can leave the author a loom. I think that way they get to have a private message about what to make it better.
Yeah, I'm a massive fanatic of Loom. I don't know how many use Loom. I'm just terrible at, not terrible. I type quite fast and well, but I just love to.
Well, Bernardo, I have to tell you that when you had me looming so much because of you, I stopped saying I love you. I said I loom you.
Yeah, and it's just a much easier way to communicate as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
And then, Ken, I think you also suggested a couple of times, someone saying love reviewing books. Well, that's good for you. So I think you mentioned as well, Ken, because you're very generous as well, that any of the books that people felt that they were attracted to, they can also send you a text message and you're going to send it. There's a couple of people that also said about obviously the dose of, there was a review, a quick message here about dose of hope.
Yes.
So it says, I love the dose of hope. I was a volunteer that brought supplies and food to people during my year of deployment in Katrina, has an abundance of stories of inspiration.
And ironically, Bernardo, I'm in New Orleans right now.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, good. Okay, well, listen, thank you, Ken. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm very, very grateful. It was beautiful. I hope a lot of people take advantage of your generosity and contact you and speak to you. You won't find a more open, genuine, honest guy that will really hold your hand through the whole process and guide you in the best way possible. Him and his team, they're great. And any of you that, are still sitting on the fence and don't understand the importance of writing a book, as Ken was saying, it's a calling card. It's something that is really, really important. I've never written a book because I wanted to compete with J.K. Rowling. I wrote a book because it was good for me. I felt it was something I needed to share, and that's kind of my legacy. If my grandchildren decide to read it someday, well, great. But I'm really doing it because I believe we all have stories that we need to share. So, Ken, thank you so much. Anything else you would like to add?
I'd just like to say you're a great friend, and thank you for being a stand for being the best you. It causes me to reevaluate how I can be the best you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, Ken. Take care. Well, for everyone watching here today, thank you so much. We're going to be back with the same link tomorrow. So I hope you're joining us. I hope you've enjoyed all the speakers today. It was all about sales. It was really all about how you can master your sales and how you can improve, basically doubling and tripling your business. But tomorrow, day 2, we've got some great speakers. If you're a speaker, if you want to find platforms to speak, Bill Walsh is speaking tomorrow. How to make bank as a public speaker. He's going to be speaking at 2 p.m. At 3 p.m., I'm going to be talking the do's and don'ts of partnerships. I'll be talking about the Best You Expo. I'll be talking about kind of all the new plans and strategies that we have. And then at 4 p.m., we've got Craig Hendley and Karen Camo, how to use social media to scale, grow, and engage and sell. And on Friday, you're going to love Friday, because Friday we've got Jessica Abo from Unknown to Newsworthy, how to get press and master the media. She's speaking at 2 p.m. David Snyder, master NLP trainer, the ultimate sales formula, how to sell anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And then at 4 p.m. on Friday, entrepreneurial leadership, letting go to grow with Jen Duplessis. So I want to thank you all for being here today. Again, please share the links with anyone that would like to see it. Thank you so much for being here, and can't wait to see you tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love. May the best be with you. Take care. Thank you.